All right, excellent. Welcome everybody. Welcome to those of you that have joined our masterclass before. Welcome back. For you, those of you that are new, welcome, welcome. We are here today to provide you some education about something you won't see anywhere else, and the likelihood is that you're here. We are a huge fan of Crypto Casey, and you either know of, follow, and like and love, or have been recommended to attend this by a good friend. So if that's the case, then absolutely positively call them and buy them a birthday present, even if it's not their birthday, because you've been invited to something that literally does not exist anywhere else on planet Earth. Let me shout out to Pam. Pam, I didn't forget about you. We've been traveling. I love you. I'll get in touch with you to make sure that your questions have been answered. But I'm going to go through some expectations, but as I said, you'll have access to this recording and you're in the right place. So put your 6-point racing harness on, as you hear me say all the time, because you're going to see some things that don't exist anywhere else. We have um, we have the honor of having the creator of what you're going to see, the platform GoBabyTrade, which is an autonomous crypto trader, literally 1000% hands off, and you'll hear that a whole bunch of times. But it's not just a crypto trader, it is a money management system. And as Mr. Barsano says, the star of the dish, even though it's enhanced with AI and it's a really cool add on because it makes you a whole bunch more money, it did for me this morning. That is not the star of the dish. The star of the dish is people lose their rear end when they try to trade, one, because it's complicated, and two, because they do not employ proper money management. But here, you don't have to worry about it. This is literally a set it and forget it. So, with that, my name is Edward Pereira. I am your host. My co host, good friend, and business partner, Mr. Attila Heveshi, is joining us. And we are, as I said before, so gracious to have the brains and the presence of Mr. Barsano that literally has created something that changes, if you let it, if you choose to, change a part or a small part or a large part of your financial life. So, with that, let me go over some expectations. Let me make sure I've got the proper slides. All right. Sorry to bore you, of the folks that have seen this before, but the magic word is transformation, right? You don't buy something or do something because it has all these cool features and functions. You buy things, and most purchases are emotional. We're going to get you emotional simply by sharing what this thing does, but it's not hype. We are going to point out and report from a factual perspective. People buy because of the transformation that whatever they're buying creates. If you're not excited at the end of this call, and you'll see as we leave the chat open, and for those of you who are new and skeptical, right? You should, if we say, hey, how would you like to make money in your sleep? Guess what? First thing out of your brain or out of your mouth should be, no, too good to be true. Mama told you. If it's too good to be true, it probably is, except for Mama's wrong on this one. You can you can put your
Hey, don't you be
skepticism.
talking about my mama?
You can put your skepticism in the chat or ask it in the questions. By the way, I forgot to clarify. If you would please chat amongst yourselves for sure, and we'll address a couple of things as we're going along. But the easiest way for us to answer your question is to put it into the Q&A section. So once you get it, you get it, and you'll hear from a lot of folks that have gotten it and are prospering. What you're going to see is not some fly-by-night thing, bot or otherwise, that some flash in the pan that somebody's trying to market to you. This is from 50 years of programming. Mr. Barsano, I won't steal all of your thunder, but spent quite a bit of time in the early days with Microsoft, hired by Bill Gates, one of the first programmers out there, has been programming AI before anybody knew that those two letters went together. Started programming for Microsoft AI in 1989. And has dedicated, and you'll hear why, the last 25 years to conquering both the stock market and the crypto market, which the crypto market is why we're here. But you can certainly ask questions about the stock trading platform. Operates exactly the same, whether it's a stock or whether it's a coin. And I get so excited about it. And people, send me comments, "Hey, wow, you sound really, really excited about it. You don't need to sell us." Well, I'm not excited because I'm trying to sell you on anything. If you
Yeah,
walk
we're not
away from
salesmen.
this, pardon me?
I said we're not salesmen. I don't know. I couldn't
No.
sell candy.
Well, I mean, if we really wanted to sell it, we would be pressuring you to buy now, buy now, buy now. But this is an educational experience that literally, and most of you know, and if you don't know, where we are in the financial in the financial historical annals, right? Anything before this has been a scam, debt-based fiat system. Fiat is a Latin word that means it is as it is by authority. Let me take all the fluff away. It means it's made up. We are at a point in time where we are transitioning from a debt-based system to an asset-based system. When you invest in assets, your situation gets better, particularly where we are now, which is the dinosaur age of cryptocurrency and decentralized finance that is quickly changing. And watch the market. If you want something that simplifies your life, takes all the guesswork out of it, and the magic thing that I always share with people is this system allowed me as a consumer, I was skeptical, just like you may have been or are. When I saw that when I did it, when I bought the system and put it to work, it literally changed my financial life to a point where it allows me to create in my sleep a legacy for my children's children, which biblically and spiritually is why I'm here. Not here, but why I'm here on planet Earth and to serve others. It makes it too easy. I would suggest that you just simply pay attention, absorb it, do your own research, as we always suggest. But I'll step back off, I'll jump off my soapbox and hopefully not break an ankle, and I'll get back to the transformation is why you're here, or the possibility of. What you're going to see today is about a 45-minute deep dive into this platform. It will literally blow you away. I'm going to show you a simulation trader of experiments that I've done using the tools in the system. And the purpose of that was to be able to hopefully generate positive results, of which it has. You're going to be blown away what has happened to the simulation in the last 7 months. And if that doesn't excite you, then I don't know. You better check your pulse. You're going to see what I'm referring to as the $1 billion report, which identifies optimal trading opportunities of the most volatile coins. Right? We'll be talking about how this system eats volatility and literally takes all the guesswork out. You're going to see live demonstrations from me. You're going to see real live accounts from Mr. Barsano. And by the way, it's a good time to mention that when you purchase it, it automatically goes into simulation mode. But the machine does not know whether it's simulating or whether it's trading with real money. So what you're going to see in my results and Mr. Barsano's results are just mind-boggling. And I told you we deal from, and I'm going through a little bit more detail than I normally do. We're going to present things from a factual perspective. You're gonna see that since the release of this platform in April of 2021 to now, in a 90% plus down market, and we'll talk about all of those different things, it has produced triple digit returns. It has Mr. Barsano's main account. It has 5x'd his money without lifting a finger. I mean, I don't think you lifted a finger. You didn't push any buttons
I
and
never lift a finger. My fingers stay on the keyboard.
that's right. And you're going to understand why we refer to this as literally a set it and forget it, make money in your sleep that gives you financial freedom. And like I said, read what's in the text or not in the text message, but in the chat. You're going to see people and ask hard questions. Ask hard questions. We got nothing to hide. We're here for your benefit. So with that, I'm going to go to the next slide. I know very hard on the retina, but you're here to listen to us from an information and an educational perspective only. We're not licensed financial advisors, tax advisors. We're not legal advisors. We're certainly not anything but the Three Musketeers putting a message out there that not a lot of people have heard, but we're getting to as many people as quickly as possible to show them that there is a way to break free of the scam system and everybody is in now. None of the results are guaranteed, but we are going to show you results that have happened, so they're fact. But we're not going to project out in the future. We're going to give you some what ifs if it were to replicate, particularly as we go into a more positive market. By the way, this platform's never seen a bull market, but 90% down has 5x your money in a little under 4 years. Not bad. You're here at your own risk. Everything you see is as is. We're not quite trying to completely disqualify things, but we don't want you to come back saying, Edward says, talks a lot, and he told me that I was going to make money. Well, we're not telling you that, period. So beyond that, we'll give you information along the way. Pay attention. I'm going to hand it back to Mr. Heveshy, and we'll go from there.
Thank you, Edward, and welcome everybody today. I am the building I live in actually has no electric today. Tampa Electric has shut me down, so if I have any technical issues today, it might be from that. It's a weird day. That's all I got to say. But it's a great day. We're all here, and we're talking about something that does not exist anywhere else. And just FYI, everybody, just so you know, Edward and I are the support system and the educational system for Crypto Casey as it pertains to the robotic autonomous trader called GoBabyTrade. That is our service to her. We support her people. So if you were wondering what our function is and who are these two guys anyway, that's who we are. So my job is to let you know how it is. I met Mr. Barsano back in 2012, and as a result, we're all here today, which is kind of cool. But let me start with his background briefly. He, when he got out of the Navy back, oh my gosh, I think it was early 80s, he found himself eventually a few years later in the offices of Microsoft, where he was hired by Bill Gates as one of the first 300 people that were hired as a programmer there. And he doesn't like it when I say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. He really did an incredible job. He was a rock star there for almost 10 years, not quite. Retired a young man.
Thank you.
Retired a young man at age, he was under 40 years of age. And he was bored to death, and he started investing in the stock market. This was when tech stocks were big, and we were in the middle of the internet revolution back then, and things were pretty crazy, just as they are now. But this is even more crazy because it's more disruptive. Why is it more disruptive? The digital money revolution versus the internet revolution, what is it disrupting? It's disrupting the global financial system. Nothing gets more disruptive than that when you're disrupting money worldwide. So anyway, I used to say unfortunately, but really the proper word is fortunately. In 2000, Mr. Barsano got his clock cleaned in terms of losing a large part of his wealth with the stock market crash. And that's when he decided, he made a very pivotal decision, thankfully for all of us and the rest of the world. And he said, you know, I'm going to level the playing field. This is obviously a rigged game. I'm going to show them. And he built a totally robotic autonomous stock market trader that automated itself. And in other words, the way it worked was, back then, it was not a little, it was quite tedious, okay? It was cumbersome. It took 60 to 90 minutes to download this software. However, once that was downloaded, it traded the stock market for you all day long. I mean, while the stock market was open. You know, it was 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. But it did this 100% unattended. So you could be traveling, not even anywhere close to your computer, and this thing is taking profits for you. It's making money. It's buying more when your stock that you held in the trader went down. It was remarkable. I mean, it's remarkable today. Imagine how remarkable it was 25 years ago. Mind blower. So anyway, in 2012, a mutual friend of ours said to me, Attila, how would you like to make money in the stock market without doing a darn thing? And I said, how the heck can that even be possible? He said, well, let me introduce you to someone you should meet. And that's when I met Mr. Barsano. This is 2012. He was about 20 minutes into the explaining what he had created when I said, time out. You don't need to talk anymore. I'm buying this thing right now. Help me get set up. We did that. I used it and I loved it. It was amazing. Now, I actually remember back then he partnered with a marketing company and they sold a lot of traders. In 2 years, they sold like $16 million worth of licenses, which was phenomenal. It was amazing. And for me, life got in the way. I got divorced, and then I was helping my son get into college on a baseball scholarship. And so I was busy. I kind of lost touch with Mr. Barsano, but this is where oh, by the way, he did eventually sell out to a hedge fund in 2018-ish that previously had purchased many, many licenses from him. But in March of 24, about 19 months ago, I'm sitting at my desk. I had a little bit of a rough day at the office, and I'm saying to myself, you know what? I'm a cash flow guy. My parents always said cash is king. I think that's out the window. It really morphed into cash flow is king. And I said, I have a good cryptocurrency portfolio, but I want to safely and securely make more crypto on the crypto I hold now in stable coins. And I'm racking my brain on how to do that because I had already lost quite a bit of money in various projects. And I'm thinking. It took me 24 hours, but it hit me right between the eyes. A day later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about Ed Barsano. I'll bet somewhere in the last 3 to 4 years, he has created. Now, this is in 2024. So I'm thinking in the last 3 to 5 years, let's say, for sure, he created a trader for crypto. He had to have, if I know Ed. So I tracked him down. I still had his phone number in my phone. Yes, sir. Thankfully. And we spoke for 3 hours. And you know what? He confirmed my hunch. He said, Attila, I did. I started from scratch. And in April of 2021, I launched a crypto trader. It's called GoBabyTrade. And it's light years ahead of the stock trader I built back in the day. And I asked him, I said, why is it so superior to what you built the first time? And he gave me 4 compelling reasons. Now, folks, listen closely, especially the new people, because this is where the rubber meets the road. Number 1, he said, look, the stock market trades 5 days a week, 6 hours a day. Crypto is 24/7, 365. That's a big, big advantage. And I said, Ed, I agree with you. That's a lot more coverage and a lot more trades. He said, number 2, you know as well as I do, Attila, that to make money in any kind of trading, whether it's Forex, whether it's precious metals, stocks, crypto, you must have extreme volatility. And he said something I already knew. He said, look, there's no asset class more volatile than the crypto market. And I said, absolutely, you're right. It's crazy how volatile. I mean, these things move 20, 30% in one day sometimes. And then the number 3 and number 4 is what really got me. So number 3 was this. He said, it's not a downloadable software anymore. It's actually web-based. And I didn't know exactly what that meant. So I asked him, and he said, Attila, if you buy this trader right now, you buy the license, I could have you connected to your exchange in less than 10 minutes. I said, get out of here. I said, if that's true, let's do it. I bought the trader on the spot. In about between 8 and 9 minutes, I was connected live trading with just under $10,000 to my own Coinbase account. Now, folks, that blew me away right there because I remember what it was like in 2012. Nothing like that. But number 4 was the most important one, and it was music to my ears, and it should be music to your ears, because the most important thing to everybody that's on the Zoom today is the safety and the security of your funds. You see, In the previous 3.5 years to our conversation, I had lost a lot of money in this blockchain crypto space trying to generate cash flow in the DeFi crypto blockchain space with 5 different projects. I lost money on all 5. Now, obviously, I made more money than I lost, but it was quite a bit. And I wouldn't have wanted to lose even 1/10 of what I lost. But why did I lose those monies? Think about it. I did not control my crypto. I sent my crypto through a third-party exchange or wallet. So when things went south, I had no control of retrieving my funds. Here, he explained, he said, I created an API connection, connects to your own Coinbase or your own Kraken account. And guess what? You and only you, Attila, control your money. So I'm telling all of you, when you buy the license here, your money is in your control. It's not at any third party. The trader is just a tool. The trader sends the buy and the sell signals to your own exchange. It's brilliant. It's brilliant the way it's set up. So before I turn it back to Edward for one little visual that you're going to love, let me ask everybody to remember 2 or 3 things at the forefront right here of your head, of your minds. Number 1, you're going to hear us say, set it and forget it many times today. Please take it literally. Literally, there's no screen time involved here in you utilizing this trader for your benefit and helping it make you money every day or every second day or every third day. It's market dependent. Okay, so it may not make you money for 2 or 3 days, but it's still working for you. Maybe it's buying more positions for you at a lower price. It's managing your money, and it's not wasting your money. So if you don't have anything going on in terms of profits for 2 or 3 days, that doesn't mean you're not protected and it's not working on your behalf. It is. It's over 3 million lines of code working on your behalf. The second thing I want to make sure everybody understands is consider what this man I'm about to introduce in a few minutes has generated and brought forth to the world. It's remarkable. Really, without anybody being an accredited investor, without anybody being knowledgeable about trading of any kind, without anybody even being knowledgeable about crypto, you when you think about it, you hardly have to know anything about computers. You could now make money in your sleep. And as Edward said, you could choose to automate a small portion or a large portion of your finances. You could automate a portion of your finances. It's incredible. So it would be crazy I think it would be crazy for everybody really not to have this as part of your strategy moving forward in this space, the digital money revolution. Because guess what? Listen carefully, new people. It's not a matter of does this work? It's not a matter of will it work? It's not a matter of can it work? It's not a matter of does it work? It's been working 25 years successfully. It's just a matter of will you understand the importance of bringing this technology with I into your personal financial life? That's the only matter here. Are there guarantees? No. The only guarantee I could think of, and Ed Barsano, correct me if I'm wrong, there is one guarantee. This market will give back to you whatever the market gives the trader. So in other words, it's like I said a moment ago, it's market dependent. Okay. But the history, which we're going to show you now, is it's indisputable. So with that, Ed Barsano, I'm going to introduce you in a moment, but Edward, do me a favor, show people your simulation trader on the last 7 months. You blew me away the other day when you showed me the updated numbers. It's mind-boggling. Edward decided to change strategies 7 months ago on his trader. Wait till you see this, folks. Can you share the screen on that, Edward?
Yeah, it's gotten better.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
All right, here we are.
Thank you.
Oh, well, it's gotten better by $13 a minute ago. Or actually
Look
it was
at that.
8:45 this morning. I've not looked at this since then. So this
So
is what
folks,
happens when
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is what happens when it trades for you autonomously. It just pops up. And Mr. Barsano, the comedian that he is, put a register sound in the system. So if you have it on your computer and your computer's open and your volume is up, you're going to hear a cha-ching. So, but that's what happened. That wasn't orchestrated, but it made. Granted, it's not a lot of money, but it just does it for a lifetime, right? If you look at this and think of it as if it only, right, your investment is you're getting $1,000 discount through Crypto Casey, and we'll post that link here in a minute. But if you were to consider a $3,400 or $3,500 investment, which is normally $4,500, and it made $20 a day, that's $7,300 a year times the 3-year license, because it's a 3-year license, is $21,900 if it only made $20 a day. And the market positioning that we're in, a lot of the people in the chat have talked about, they have a lot of lots, which means they have a well-seasoned trader. They are in positions where the market spikes 20, 30%, which can happen any day, anytime, any second. And it literally just cleans out all the inventory. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But so this is a simulation that I started with $100,000. It has a whole bunch of inventory. And yes, in the last 7 months, the inventory is down, but I've not sold anything at a loss, which is a really good time to mention that this system is programmed specifically to never, ever, ever, not ever sell at a loss. It collects inventory. It eats volatility. When the market wiggles on very small percentages, it just takes a profit. But we have been collecting. This is actually, people go, well, wow, it looks like you've lost a lot of money. Nope, haven't lost a thing. This literally has collected inventory. You can see this, which in the last 7 months has generated $46,011.89 in hands-off, set it and forget it, in your sleep profits. Nobody can take those back, period. When the market begins to spike, and oh, by the way, that's been in the last 7 months, the market's been down 50%. So for it to take almost half of the money in profits in 7 months, not even deploying all of the capital that I gave it, it's doing pretty good. So I don't know whether your bank pays that or your CD or you made that much in the market, but this is what this does. I talked about, and this is only the last 7 months. Mr. Barsano has been doing this successfully with triple-digit returns cumulatively over the last almost 4 years. Fact. These are not fictional numbers. Now, the reason why I didn't change strategies, I used this simulation to validate some of the tools that, as a matter of fact, every time we come on weekly, we end up finding out that Mr. Barsano and his team behind the scenes has added more value, which, by the way, you get for free. It's included, right? There's almost weekly updates, constantly continuing to hone the knife and sharpen the skills of this trader, and it's all included. So the reason why I chose these coins, Zora is an outlier. I put that in there because somebody wanted to know why it wasn't in the $1 billion report. So pay attention in the fact that the $1 billion report shows active volatile coins, and you can sort it however you want, but you want to see the most volatile, but it has to be a year worth of trading for it to actually show up on that report. Zora has only been trading for about 4.5 months, but with Pepe, Ando, and Bonk came out of the top 10 of the $1 billion report that identifies all for you with no work. It's published and updated on a monthly basis, highlighting the most volatile coins. The more that it trades, the more that you make. But clarify again, it's only going to give the profits that the market will give you. But it doesn't sleep, ever. It doesn't take chances. It's programmed to be successful, to virtually eliminate the risk, and you just look at it when you want. And this is the 401k of the new age. But it makes, at least historically, it has made consistent profits at a very, very high rate of return. Again, no guarantee, but if it does something in an up market that it's never seen, based on what it's done in a severely down market, then you're in for quite a ride. So we'll talk about a little bit more about what the features and functions and what you see, but it's a very it's made to be a very simple snapshot dashboard for you to look at what's happening. Down here, you can see the filled orders. You saw when I brought this up, there's the profit from this morning, and then it's taken 2 more positions because the market has fluctuated and it's bought more, collecting more inventory. So with that,
Awesome.
unless you want me to point out something else, I'll give it back to you, Attila, and we'll get to the
No.
real man, Mr. Barsano.
Oh, now you're saying I'm not a real man?
No, the real man of the hour. I'd love to be able to take credit for, there you go, super crypto man. I'd love to be able to take credit for creating the creator or the machine, but I just have the privilege, or we have the privilege to get to tell people about it.
Yes, and Ed Barsano, I don't know, how many times have you heard me say over the years, you demand?
Oh,
A lot. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce Ed Barsano, folks. This is the gentleman I met in 2012, thankfully, and you have the pleasure to hear his story and him describe the features and benefits of his trader, of his creation. So Ed, the floor is yours.
all right. Well, thank you for inviting me, and thank you, Crypto Casey, for letting me speak to your audience. And you guys, you said, what is your role? You know, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have this webinar right now. I don't do webinars. I only come to this webinar because I'm invited to come to the webinar. So Edward and Attila set up this webinar. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Indeed. Hey, I want to comment before you go any further. I'm digging the new look here. What's with that?
Working it.
Working it. There you go. Even
you know,
more
I
handsome.
I spent the last couple of days at the co-location center. This load balancer, some of you guys have heard me talk about the load balancer went out, this device. So I'm rewriting the load balancing on the servers to the way it balances the website when people are connecting. You all don't go to the same server. You're bouncing from server to server to different servers. So I had to put a lot more net cables into the computers to make that work. Usually you have one net cable, right? A net cable from the computer to the switch to the router. But in order to control, to load balance, you got to have like 3 net cables in each computer. So I have a lot of computers, man. I mean, you know how hard it's not easy to, you're plugging all these net cables in. Do that for 8 hours, man.
I hear you. And we only asked what time it was, and you just built the watch for us. There's so much, I mean, because we get to spend time with you, and we realize there's so much behind the scenes, and there's so much that has gone into literally a server farm and 25 years of literally daily banging on the keyboard programming, you, your son, and team that brings us to the present. As I talked about, made the brief comment about the dashboard is simply laid out. It gives you all the information that you need to prosper in your life, but there's a whole lot that goes on behind the scenes.
Right. Yeah. And that's one of the things. Yeah, we make it really look easy. And actually, I got my new I got a new device.
You got a new Apple iPad?
An Apple iPad, this 102.
1.02, yes. Version control.
You know, you made a comment actually on that. It says, you know, people want to see a lot of things in their trader. I've been down that path already years ago. Actually, the first trader was like that. The first trader I released in 2001, that I created in 2001 actually, and it had 10 screens of things you could do. And you know, you look at this screen, it only has like 1 screen of settings, and you see all you can do with 1 screen of settings. Can you imagine if you had 10 screens of settings?
And what do you always say about the 10 screens?
Well, 10 screens of ways to blow yourself up. You know, I
boiled
mean,
you boiled that down to, and you've talked in the past about experimenting because you're the creator. You get to you're Dr. Frankenstein that gets to mess with the monster. And then of course we always say don't mess with it. Literally, it's been honed to perfection over 25 years. And so if you don't mess with it, it eliminates all the risk and you literally just let it run. But I probably mentioned it, but this is a lifetime trader. Once you see what it does, if it's gonna, if I said, give me put a dollar in and I'll give you $3 back. How many dollars would you put into the machine? All of them. It literally punishes the market. So
right. Right, exactly. It doesn't matter what what the market's doing. We've been talking in the chat here about, a well-seasoned auto trader. You want to have a lot of inventory. That way you always have the market trapped. You see what happens with the robotic trader, just for some of you, because I know some of you already have a trader. When the price goes down, you're buying more at a lower price. If you stop a trader from buying that coin after you bought it up here and then it drops down here and you're not letting it buy more, well, then it has nothing to sell down here. If the price is down here, then you have nothing to sell. It's wiggling around up here going like this. You're not doing anything. You're still sitting in your coin that you bought up here. So if you don't want to stop it from trading, you're crippling the auto trader. You want to let it buy. Someone else mentioned, or Paul, I think it was, has 50 lots of a coin. Can you imagine? 5, 10, 15, 20. He's got 50 lots going all the way down. You have that market trapped, boy, forever. If they have a big 20% jump in the price, you're selling a lot of inventory off. And then you're buying it back on the drop and you're selling it again. It's just free money when you do it right. Okay, I took a couple notes here from while these gentlemen were talking. So you don't want to, when you look at other bots out there, I actually looked at AI one time and I said, show me the best bot and stuff. And some of the things they were saying that it said, it's so dumb. I mean, but it doesn't know it's dumb, all right? The I mean, whatever that chat GPT is, it's placing value in the wrong places. It's like, oh, these bots are great because there's so many things you can do. Goodbye. So many ways you can lose your money. Do you really want to gamble? Because yeah, you could do a lot of stuff. You can create an auto trader that automatically loses if that's your mission. If you can't make money manually and then you get an auto trader and try to automate what you were doing when you were losing, then you're going to have an automated trader that automatically loses. So, that's what makes GoBabyTrade so great. We've been around for 25 years. I've been automating this market. And, and I've been able to see, this is an advantage I have. It's like, for instance, I was talking to somebody, I'm looking at this chase over here. This chase is like a long couch, right? With one of the armrests missing. Looks like a couch with the armrest missing.
you're not
Anyway,
referring to JP Morgan Chase. This is the
no.
lounge, right?
Yeah, this couch here. I was sitting on that talking to a gentleman once, or a week ago, and he said, I'm a programmer. I'm going to create my own auto trader. I said, oh, all right, cool. Go for it. I said, how old are you? And he said, I'm 40. And I said, okay, so in 25 years, you'll be 65. You'll be right where I am now. You and if you've been programming it for 25 years, and by the time you'll be where I am now. I've been doing this 25 years. The difference is I have a lot of clients and I had software that I gave them the ability to do everything they could possibly want to do in my old system. So I was able to see all the stuff that doesn't work. If you think you're going to sit at home in a vacuum and create an auto trader, you're going to have to discover on your own what doesn't work. That means you're going to have to lose all your money and say, well, that didn't work. Now try something else. And then you're going to lose all your money again and say, well, that didn't work. And you're just jumping all around like a monkey. and I think that's how people trade the markets. And then they go, I hate crypto and I hate this and I hate that. Well, you hate it because you don't know what you're doing. It's not that the market's bad. It's like and there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I'm not going to be mad because I don't know how to change a carburetor on a car. It's not my area of expertise. I understand that. There's some things I can't do. There's a lot of things I can't do, actually. A real lot of things. But I can program. So, I always got feedback over that last 25 years. Like when TD Ameritrade called me out of the blue back in 2006 and said, "Will you connect your auto trader to us so our clients can use it?" And my first response, he caught me off guard. I'm like, how do you even know me? I don't advertise or anything. I'm just word of mouth. Clients have it and they share with others. I don't advertise. And his response was what I'm going to put on my headstone when I die. You're real. What an amazing, don't you think that's an amazing response, really? I mean, I
Yep.
don't know if I could think of a better response than that. He just said, you're real. And I said, you're right, I am real. I remember that conversation. So then I automated them. So I get a lot of feedback telling me what works and what doesn't work. Nowadays, the feedback that I get in GoBabyTrade when somebody says it doesn't work, I look at their trader, just like I did for you, Rocky, just a minute ago. I jumped into your trader and I took a look and I said, whoa, it's not that it doesn't work. What you're doing doesn't work. It's you causing the problem. You're stopping your auto trader from trading. And I'm not putting you down. I'm just telling you a program is designed to do what it's programmed to do. If you tell it don't do stuff, well then it can't do it. It can't do what it was programmed to do. The auto trader is designed to take money in perpetuity no matter where the price goes. If you stop it from buying, then when the price goes down here, it can't trade. If you're not letting it trade, you're saying don't buy anymore, and then you're saying, well, my auto trader's not taking profits. What's the matter with it? Well, the price is down here and you're not letting it buy. If it buys down here, then when it wiggles, it'll sell it. Buy, sell, buy, sell. Thanks, Rocky. Don't ever
Hey, Ed,
take
Ed,
anything
can I
personal
interrupt
when
you
I'm
for a
talking.
second?
Sure.
Ed, can I just tell everybody something here? This is a very, very valuable lesson with what happened to Rocky. And Rocky, I appreciate you being back with us today. But you'll hear us say week after week, time after time when we're on these Zoom calls, fire up and go live with that trader and then do not touch it. Do not
Well,
touch the settings and let it ride, and don't trade with more than 3 to 5 coins.
no, he's
Repeatedly
doing
every
most
week.
things right. He's doing everything
Yeah,
right. The one
yeah.
area
But I'm
we
just
don't
saying,
tell people is the select currencies. When you put your coins in, the ability to turn off the buying and the selling, that kind of stuff.
oh, I see. Okay.
He's not the only one doing that. Lots of people are saying, well, I don't want to trade this coin anymore. I'm going to stop it from buying. So it's like I need to really I need to do a webinar, or we need to do a webinar and talk to everybody about this, or maybe write a paper on it to
I think
really
you just do a video. Just do a video like you have the other videos on
yeah,
the
and
site
talk
explaining
specifically
that.
about
Yeah,
it, because
right.
there's an area here that is pretty common. People are getting discouraged because the market's hasn't moved or been going down for the last few months. And they're saying, well,
Right.
I have a lot of inventory here. I'm going to stop these coins from trading and I'm going to jump into some other coins, thinking that jumping into other coins is the answer. It's like, no, that's not the answer. Stick with what you have, because you have the market trapped. Why did I change my strategy from 3% to 5% in one of my traders? I have multiple traders. But I see some people changing their strategy to 10% drops. Profit goal 10%. Why? Or 10%, profit, taking profits. They change it to 10% my feeling is this. They push the market down a lot. I'm punishing the market because now the coins have dropped 80 to 90% from where they were a few years ago, all the way down to the bottom. So I feel like, you know what? I'm going to give you 3%. I'm not going to just take 3% now. Now it's time to punish the market for what they did. I don't want to just take 3% on the wiggles now. I feel like I want 5% now. You're going to give me at least 5% on the wiggles now. Now that I got you trapped down here and I have all this inventory, it's like you can never make the coin jump without giving me money. I've got you trapped down there. Now I'm going to say, I want 5%. I see some people changing their strategy to 10% profit goals. And I'm like, I'm cool with that because we got the market trapped at the bottom, man. There's nothing they can do. Watch when this market starts turning up. It's going to be a beautiful thing. But the default setting is buy on 3% drops and sell on 3% advances. And that's okay too. But if you're trading Bitcoin, be careful, some of you that are trading Bitcoin. If you're telling it not to sell and you're just accumulating, it's eating up your money. You're using up the money in your account because it's buying Bitcoin with it, but it's not replenishing the money to trade with. So you're just sucking away all your as the coin gets, every time you buy more Bitcoin, more and more of your money is going into Bitcoin, but it's using up the money that it had to work with. As
Hey, Ed, I
opposed
got a
to
question.
buying and selling, where you're freeing up money constantly.
I got a question because I met a gentleman, in fact, Alan, who you know, down in who we met
Oh
down in
yeah, Alan
Lauderdale.
Staple.
Yeah. His good friend Ron, he actually bought a separate trader just so he could dollar cost average XRP. So, in my question to you is, wouldn't that be the smart thing to do if somebody wanted to seriously dollar cost average Bitcoin? Just buy an additional license and do that separately.
Well, yeah, some people are doing that. They're
Okay.
separating it from the regular trader, and they're just because Bitcoin doesn't move in 3% moves. I'll tell you what happens with Bitcoin. I can tell you what's going on. I'm seeing, this whole dollar cost average sit on things. I'm not used to that. I like to turn profits. But I see what they're doing. Say the coin went to 120. And from down here, from 100, they were buying while it was going up because it adds to advancers and decliners. It adds while it's going down and it adds while it's going up. So they were buying all the way up to 120. And then it started coming all the way back down to 100. Well, while it was going back down, it already bought at these various price levels, these price points. So it wasn't buying any more on the way down. And then now it went from 99,000. We all saw that a couple days ago. And it went back up to 105. But again, it already owns the coin at these various price levels. So they're watching the coin now sit between 120 and 100. They're not buying anymore because they already filled in. They already bought it. If they already bought it at 103, it's not going to buy it again at 103. There's no purpose in it. So it's going up and down, but they're not really doing anything with it now because they weren't selling. See, if they were selling on the way up, then they would have all that inventory would be gone, and then they'd be buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. You want to make money in perpetuity, let it sell. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. I helped
Right.
a woman a couple days ago. She just came live with her XRP. And she loaded it in, and the auto trader said, well, I see $6,000 worth of profit. I'm going to grab it. She didn't uncheck the allow sell, so the auto trader sold it. So then she said, well, I've been accumulating that XRP for a long time. I feel bad that the auto trader sold it. And I said, yeah, but you're making $600 a day on the wiggles. Why do you want to stop that? you know? And then she said, yeah, but it took me years to accumulate all that XRP. And I said, well, don't worry. It'll go down again in a few days. Don't even worry about it. So it went all the way up to 273. And while it was going up and down. So she's still making all that money every day, right? And then now, today I looked at it, it's below where it originally sold it. I said, there, if you want to buy it all back, go ahead. You're buying it back at a lower price than what it sold it at. Either way you win, I don't know. Everybody wants to trade the market differently, but I've learned over the years how to crank money out of the market like candy. Free money. I call the market, some of you could write it in chat. What do I call the market? Go ahead. I
An
want
insult to
somebody.
humanity.
And
Oh,
all
you
right,
blew
so
the surprise.
I was gonna wait for at least 5 people to write it. I call it an insult to humanity. Market
Pam
joke.
says you call it a 7-Eleven.
I run it like a 7-Eleven. The trader stocks up the shelves and then you sell it off. And then the stock trader restocks the shelves. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
look,
What a beautiful game.
I had a conversation. As a matter of fact, Attila and I just attended the blockchain futures conference down in Miami, and
Oh yeah, right.
it was amazing, amazing. If you ever have an opportunity to spend time around like-minded people in this space, please do it. Please do it. It was amazing. You talk about people that just want to help humanity because they are going to uh, make a lot of money in this market. Great boost. But what
I'd
somebody
probably be
said to
arguing
me,
with a lot of people over
yeah,
there.
what somebody said to me, I had the conversation and they said, yeah, I just started, and they just bought the trader. And I didn't correlate, but they said, "Oh yeah, I just started a new business." I'm like, "Wait, what are you doing?" He said, I'm trading crypto, but without the headaches." I'm like, "How are you doing it?" "Well, it's a thing called GoBabyTrade." So he explained it through the lenses of starting his own business, not doing anything. So
It's
I'm
a
like,
beautiful way to start a business.
what a brilliant concept. It never hit me from that perspective before.
There's a couple businesses, a couple people out there. I think one in Georgia and one in California that I know of that have a business of, paying off, helping people pay off their debts. And the way they do it is they get an auto trader and then the profits go into the save bucket. And just in addition to your whatever how payments you normally make every month to pay off your debts, your credit cards, whatever, you take the saved profits and you pay off and you pay it off you have that extra money to pay it off with. And you're not doing anything different and you're still living your life, you're working your job, and they actually help people do that. So it's interesting. You mentioned a spiritual transformation. Once you get an auto trader, and
Oh, me. Yes, I did. I mean,
I
truly,
heard you say that.
right?
I took a note when you said it. It is a transformational experience. You really, and I'm speaking for myself, plus I've talked to so many people. It literally changes your life. You spend so many years thinking that the market is this complicated thing that you don't that others know more about. And when I talk about this stuff, I think of like the TV, and those talking heads on MSNBC, where they're always yappity yap yap yap. They never tell you how to make any money. They don't know how. They always want to. They literally hear. They want to hear them. Have you ever known somebody maybe that just likes to hear themselves talk, and
Yep.
and they're saying nothing, you know, and I don't even like to wear my coat when because I think that I don't notice it when I'm putting my coat on. But then after I start thinking about it, it's like I don't want to look like them. I just want to look like a regular person because they're so fake. They're so full of themselves. I mean, listen to those people. I like Joe Kernan, and some of you have seen them on TV for years. I like those guys, but they never really tell you anything. They really don't know how to make money. You know,
Jim Cramer that says Bitcoin's a scam.
Oh, the worst trader I ever met. I mean, I actually automated his Action Alerts Plus. Some of you may have heard of that. He sells something where he charges you every month and he tells you what coins to buy or stocks, when to buy them and when to sell them. And I automated his strategy. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, that stock is up right now. Why isn't he taking profits? So then I decided, he doesn't know what he's doing. So I set up another auto trader right next to the one he had, right? Because I automated his Action Alerts Plus. He asked me to do that. He paid me to do that, and I did it. And so when people have an Action Alerts account, they could actually they get the alerts, but it goes right into the auto trader if they have an account. All right. So I set up another auto trader that takes his alerts. But in my auto trader, I said, if the coin's already up on the day, don't buy it when he says buy it. Don't buy it. It's already up. It's too late. Tell me to buy it while it's down. Don't tell me to buy it after it's already up. So I told my auto trader not to do that. So I'm watching his auto trader. I see a coin or a stock. I always say stock or a coin, but it was stocks. So I see the stock go up, and then an action alert comes in and says buy it. I'm like, that's a little late. You're telling me to buy it. So my auto trader didn't buy it. And then when the coin, then in his action alerts plus, the auto trader doesn't sell it until he says to sell it, until the alert says sell it. And I'm watching the coin go higher, and and then he doesn't take the profits, but I change mine to take the profits. My auto trader destroyed his auto trader. His auto trader was nothing but a losing trader, man. He had no clue how to make a dime, and people are actually paying him. It's an insult.
Well,
Um,
I mean, what would you rather do? Would you rather pay somebody for speculation or for fact?
Yeah, and he didn't even know. I mean, the fact is, numbers don't lie. A coin
That's what
goes
I
up and you sell it. That's a real number. There's no guessing. There's no saying if this or if that. Hey, the coin went up. You're profitable. Take the profit. Bird in hand. You ever hear that expression that we've been hearing all our life that we
bird in
never
hand's
thought
worth two in
about?
the bush. I have no idea what that means, but I get what you're saying.
You know what it means. Bird in hand is worth two in the bush. We heard these expressions our whole life, but yet we ignored them. So, but the one expression we never ignored was if it sounds too good to be true, then it's too good to be true. It can't be real. Boy, they sure attached themselves to that expression. You attached yourselves to the wrong expression because that's that's just a crippling expression,
Yep.
if it sounds too good. But but I mean, it's realistically, you gotta think that what happens if somebody says, I'm going to get you 100% a month guaranteed, that
Yeah.
is too good to be true.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair, this still being as I commented at the beginning, we're in this space that's still in the dinosaur age. It's about ready to change lightning fast. Like you're going to go to bed tonight or tomorrow night or sometime soon, and you're going to wake up and you go, "What just happened?" Now, my point is because the rockets are all going to launch. My point is that quite frankly, I never traded the crypto market because one, I didn't know what I was doing. Two, everything I saw turned out to be a scam, right? So, in all fairness, those people that don't have the privilege, the blessing, and the opportunity to see what the information that we're sharing are stuck with the idea that so much out there, FTX. Now, the good news is that people who invested in FTX are getting their money back, but
Of course they
nevertheless,
are, because they were all billionaires.
yeah,
So they get their money back. If
right.
you
The
lose
point
your
being,
money, if an exchange goes under and you lose your money, you don't get your money back. But if
right,
you're a billionaire, they get their money back. They get to have
right.
congressional hearings.
Right. Yeah, yeah, we don't have any congressional areas. My point, belabored point being is that most people, unless they understand and they see from a factual perspective what we're showing, and then some people still walk away and go, nah, I don't believe it. Okay, well, I can't do anything other than give you the information. If you decide not to use it, I can't help you with that. But I can tell you a lot of people are skeptical, and you should be. You absolutely should be. Research everything that we're telling you because it is fact.
Yeah, but
People, everything that you've heard outside of this, quite frankly, I'm boasting now because I've researched a lot of projects. You heard Attila talk about cash flow projects where you did not or he did not, and same with me. I didn't control those investments. I trusted on somebody saying that they were going to do something, gave them their money or gave them my money, our money, put it into their wallet that I didn't have any control over, and when the shit hit the fan, you couldn't access it. Here, as you heard at the beginning, but I'll belabor it again. You are 100% in control of everything you do with this. This smart machine is like having a room full of traders in your basement that you don't have to pay.
pay
It's,
anything.
you know what it costs you to own this? It's so funny. Ron shared this with me, or shared this with us. There's one of the gentlemen we had the privilege of spending time with at the conference. He said, and I think he said he had a conversation with you, Ed. He said, I'm paying I'm only paying 13 cents an hour for professional traders to sit in my basement. 13 cents
No,
an hour.
Oh yeah, what I've given the public is just I mean, it's life-changing stuff. You know, I've heard so many people that I say I've changed their lives. I saved their retirement. You know, some people live off the money that it makes every month, and without that, they would just be whittling away at all their savings. You know, it's great. You know, for those of you though, you know, many of you may have already owned the Auto Trader. I don't know how many people are on here that don't know who we are or who I am. You know, I was like one of the first 350 developers at Microsoft, okay? And, you know, I wasn't like the first or the first 25, but it was a pretty small company still when I started there. And I knew right away, you know, I was a DECVAX programmer. That's a mini computer programmer. And they happen to have three DECVAXs. Spanky, Darla, and Alfalfa, they called them. Yeah. But they didn't know how to program them. So they went to digital and said, who the heck knows how to program this thing? I wasn't even a PC programmer back then. I was a mainframe, you know, out of the Navy, you know, I was working on mainframes, Honeywells, um, and IBM. I can't remember what that IBM was, but Digital created these mini computers called DECVAXs, and I worked in nuclear engineering for the government with those on a DECVAX. So Microsoft went to Digital and said, because they already owned three of them, I don't know who bought them, that was crazy, but they bought three of them and they didn't know how to program them, so they went to Digital. I think they thought they were going to be like PCs. They were in for a shock when they got them. They said we got they got these three mini computers they didn't know what to do with. So they went to Digital and said, who the heck knows how to program these things? So I got a phone call out of the blue from Microsoft. They said, will you come in and interview? So that was an interesting experience. And again, it was the same thing. How did you find me? You know, and I knew Microsoft was out there, but I wasn't a PC programmer, and I was pretty busy in nuclear engineering, working with the government, and I was having fun. But then they called me and said, will you come in and interview? And I interviewed with about 30 Microsoft programmers, and they were throwing these questions at me, and I was just firing answers back, you know, and we were arguing over some stuff, you know, and it was pretty intense uh, argument, pretty intense interview. I really thought I blew the interview. I'm like, wow, man, I can't believe I argued with that whole room full of programmers. At one point, I said, "You guys aren't really programmers, are you? You're joking with me, right?" You know. So then I felt an arm on me like that. He goes, "All right, that's enough," you know. And we turned around and we walked out. And we walked to, and this is the head guy, you know, and he brings me to his office and he closed the door. He said, "Don't worry about those guys. You're right." I couldn't believe it. So they hired me. And then when I was leaving 9 years later, I had a personnel folder and I was sitting in personnel checking out, you know, when you're leaving a company. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know I had a personnel folder. And I'm looking through it, had all my jobs and my promotions and all my stock options and all kinds of stuff. And at the very bottom, the stuff they put into the personnel folder first were the interview comment sheets. Stuff that those people in that room wrote. I'm sitting in the personnel office, man, and I only remember one of the comments in big bold letters, intense, scary.
Now
And I
look at you.
didn't, what's that?
I said, now look at you.
I know.
Thank God you didn't take the path of least resistance when you were in the Navy and said, okay, we're going to program, you can program computers or you can be a mailman. Where would we
Oh, yeah,
be if
right.
you were a mailman?
Yeah, I was colorblind in the Navy, so they said I couldn't be an electrician, so they didn't give me that choice. They said you could be a postal clerk or we could put you in data processing. I'm like, well, I know what postal clerk is. I don't think I want to do that. I'll take the data processing. I didn't even know what that was either.
And then
We
here you
wired
are.
some panels in high school. That's all we did. So we weren't really doing much programming. But boy, oh boy, did I find my career. So the interesting thing is, I didn't know they made those comments in the beginning. So for 9 years, I was myself the whole time. If I would have known he wrote that in the beginning, it might have influenced my behavior going forward.
Yeah.
But but it didn't influence me. So I was me right to the end. I was fighting and arguing over everything, man. I mean, when you're when a company where everybody's an alpha, what do they call them? Alpha male or alpha programmers?
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be in charge. And I sincerely felt that we were going to crash and burn if we didn't do it my way. Even now, and some of you have had jobs where you left a job years ago and you think back of what would you have changed or whatever. I can't think of anything I would have changed over those 9 years because I sincerely felt that we were going to crash and burn if we did it some of these crazy ways other people wanted to do the project. So I was always in charge. It didn't take long before I was in charge.
Hey, Ed, can you bring up the bucket in the well?
Sure. All right. So, but Bill Gates, my first day in the company, they introduced me to Bill. We were the same age, and I went to shake his hand. He goes, "Why are you doing this on a VAX and not on a PC?" And man, I didn't know how to respond to that. I'm like, PCs are junk. Yeah. But I knew I had to get off that VAX. So I polished that VAX project off in 6 months as fast as I could. And I went to a PC group. And it wasn't long before I was ahead of that group. Anyways, so let's go on. So I left Microsoft in 95 because I just had so many millions. I figured I'm done with this planet. And then I was in all the tech stocks and like everybody was in the 90s, and they were just going up, and I didn't know anything about the market, and I got hammered in the 2000 crash. Just like Attila says, it was a good thing. I didn't feel it didn't change my life, obviously, because it only took 60% of my wealth, not all of it. But I felt like I was robbed, and that's when I said I'm going to automate the market and prove that this is just numbers going up and down. And with proper money management, we could just take free money out of the market forever.
Yeah.
But I
But you
started letting
actually, but you actually said,
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna,
hurt.
I'm gonna
I
hurt
said I'm
you.
gonna hurt whoever created, all those guys that robbed me.
Right.
And I said, I don't know who you is, but I'm gonna hurt you for that. I'm gonna change now. No more gambling in the market. But I had to let the clients do what they wanted to do, And I was giving away free auto traders for 5 years. It was just all free. I was footing the bill for everything, for all the servers, everything I was doing. And I was just giving away free auto traders, and I was automating everything the people were asking for. And that's when I had 10 screens of things you could do, all the different things you could possibly want to do. And I watched people blowing themselves up all over the place. I'm like, holy Toledo, why would he change that number? Why would he do that? What's this guy thinking? And I had thousands of users doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And I'm like, and then but what's nice though is I could see what worked and what didn't work. So I could see right away, and that's why when I rewrote the software, I sold that company because it was downloadable software. As Attila said, it took an hour to download the program. It was so big. And plus, and it had AI in it all the way from the beginning, and that takes a lot of computing resources. And people were actually complaining. They're saying, I can't even check my email when this program's running. Because my program was just eating up all the computing resources. So I rewrote I sold the company, I rewrote the software to be web-based, and that means it runs on my servers. So you don't have to worry about your computer being running. It just runs, it's always running. And then a year, that was in 2000, then I wrote the crypto software in 2021. As soon as I turned that on, I said, "Oh my God, I'm done with the stock market." I couldn't believe it. The cryptos are jumping up 20%, down 20%. I'm like, this is gold to an auto trader, man, buying and selling. And, with the stock prices move like this, like a wave. Cryptos move like this, up and down. That's gold to an auto trader, man. I couldn't even believe it. So all these years I've been doing the stock market, but it groomed me. It prepped us. It's God's will. Things happen in certain orders. And you don't realize what it's prepping you for. Like when I touched that train track when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and it zapped the hell out of me. That was a lesson.
We
That did
didn't know
something in my
that.
brain. What's
Yeah,
that?
that's a new one.
That's a new one. We didn't know that. Now it
You didn't know
explains
that?
it.
I grew up in Chicago, you know, and I was a little kid, and I had this theory. I always had theories, and I saw the third rail of that train track and I saw it stop when it got to the street, before the street, and then it picked up on the other side of the street. So think of electricity. I was thinking, well, it cut the connection. But when the train goes over and bridges the gap, it'll reconnect. So my
Wow.
theory was there's no electricity on that track, on that third track. I
Ah,
saw the train coming. So I'm looking at the train and I saw that track and I went under the pole that says don't walk. I was a little kid, man, and I just said I'm gonna touch it and see. So I walked over and I reached down and I touched it, and it was dark out. I remember it was real dark out, and man, it knocked the hell out of me. That electricity went whoosh. I said like an elevator. Man, it just went whoosh, and man, I was dizzy, you know, and I kind of staggered off the track, and then the train went by, and I'm like, wow, that thing. It had electricity in it, and my theory was wrong on that one.
well, that now explains your superhero mentality, right? This is what it
I think
created
it
after you
definitely
touched the
did
tracks.
something. Yeah, it definitely did something. And then when I was in seventh grade, we moved. You know, I was from inner city of Chicago. We moved around, and my brother got a job. He's older than I am. He got a job in a Texaco gas station right across the street, and I was just hanging out in the Texaco gas station, and I saw this. I picked up a farmer's almanac, and I'm just kind of thumbing through it, and I'm like, they can predict the freaking weather based on history. I couldn't even believe it. It blew my mind. Again, changed the way I was thinking about the whole world. I'm like, you can predict the weather based on history? And
Yeah.
that's AI, that's neural networks, that's pattern recognition. That's everything I've been doing this stuff my whole life. From that point on, it changed the way I looked at the world. And from then on, it was all just, pattern recognition. And it applies to everything. Really. They could tell you, and I was amazed. I remember one year I was watching TV over a Memorial Day weekend. They predicted that over this next Memorial Day weekend that's not here yet, 500 people will die in car accidents based on history. And I was amazed that over the weekend, 513 people died. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, there you go. Pattern recognition, and it's very accurate. And it applies everywhere, folks.
So
Everywhere.
you're not suggesting because that whole chain of events made you so intelligent. Or you're not suggesting people go touch a train track, right?
No, well, you could try it. You know, it applies to more than just when you're thinking about pattern recognition. Think about when you're say you not even programming. You have a strategy, a stock trading strategy or cryptos. You're manually doing things. How many rules are you violating when you make that trade? Sometimes, I mean, you're not sitting there with a checklist, are you, of 50 different things that you got to check off to make sure that this trade is right. You actually, I want you guys to be honest. Think of yourself. When you're going to make a manual trade, do you ever even see sometimes that you're violating a certain rule that you have that you normally say, I would not make this trade based on this, but yet you're violating the rule and you still go through with the trade? That's the beauty. And you do it because I used to do that too. I know I shouldn't make this trade, but I'm gonna do it anyway. The nice thing about programming is it never violates a rule. I mean, I watch our trader run and I'm like, man, that coin's got to go up one more penny before I take that trade. I mean, it could be stocks. A penny is a lot for some of these cryptos. But I mean, it's just got to go up. My profit has to go up one more penny, is what I mean. If the profit goes up one more penny, the software is going to take the profit. And I won't take that trade manually. It's like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. And then that coin jumps 7%. And then it takes the profit. Where the
Right.
AI holds on to the trade and waits because it says that now AI is another beast, where AI, it's looking at What was I gonna say?
Your system looks at all 27 indicators outside
Right.
the system.
Stochastics, MACD, relative strength index, that's all separated out of the trader. The trader's job has one mission: chase the price, chase profits. That's it. And now, if the software is ready to take profits, it'll call the AI at that time. AI is like two-factor authentication. It's throwing out numbers constantly, but the auto trader's not even looking at those. When the price goes up and it sees the profit, the software says, I want to take this profit now. Then it'll call the AI. And the AI will say, hold on, don't take that profit yet. That price is going higher. So it'll hold, and then the software will hold off and the price will go higher. But then the auto trader will keep calling the AI, and the AI keeps throwing out different numbers. And as long as those numbers are above 95% confidence that it's going to go higher, the software will wait and not take the profit. Now, somebody pointed out, or eventually the AI is going to say, well, I'm 88% sure the price is going to go higher. I want 95% confidence. And so that means the software will just take the profit if the AI is not 95% confident. Now, AI, what is AI? A quick brief on AI. AI is looking at the current environment in a box, just a snapshot of what it looks like right now. What is stochastics, relative strength index, MACD, just all these indicators. It's you can get those right out of technical analysis from A to Z. It says if this number is above this, it's bearish or bullish, or whichever. It's telling you the answer. So the AI knows that, and it looks at 25 years of history of what that means. It says I've seen that pattern 1,000 times, and 98% of the time the coin's going to go higher. Okay, now the AI can't look at tomorrow. It doesn't have all these indicators already. It doesn't know what these indicators are going to look like tomorrow. So it can't predict tomorrow. So anybody, see, that's the problem with all these other bots and everything that are out there. There were no bots that had AI in them until a couple years ago. I mean, I'm like, I've been doing this all these 25 years. Actually, I've been doing AI, as Attila said, since 1989.
Yep.
And so, I mean, I put it in my original auto trader. I never even talk about it. I never bragged about it. There was a button you could click on the screen and you could see all the numbers, and that was kind of a mistake putting it on there because it uses a lot more computing resources. I didn't realize that. I didn't think about it. I just put it in there so they could see, here, there's your AI. You could see all the numbers, going by. But there's no use in that. To see all those numbers every second. So AI can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. So any of these bots and everything that are out there saying they can predict stuff that's going to happen a day or two or a month in advance and all, throw it all away. You can look at the AI is good for a snapshot in time. That's it. And that's right now. And if it can look like 20 to 30 minutes out, because then all those numbers are changing, and it can't really predict beyond that. And we don't need it to predict beyond that. Okay, so AI isn't the holy grail. As Attila or Edward, you said, AI isn't the holy grail. AI's the holy grail is the auto trader. The AI is a nice add-on, I would call it, or a
Mhm.
nice a widget, or what do you call that?
A bell and
Enhancement,
a whistle. A
a
bell
bell
and a
and a
Yeah,
whistle.
whistle.
yeah, it's a bell and a whistle. It's a nice little tool to have. Auto Trader would run perfectly fine without it, okay? But it's nice to be able to hold on to something. Somebody said, "Well, why did you change your profit goal?" This is a good one. From 3% to 5%. If you have AI that's going to tell you if it's going to go higher. Well, what happens is, number one, I want to punish the market. I don't want it. The AI can't make the I. What happens is, if the software's up 3%, and I'm waiting for AI, but the AI might say it's not going to go higher. So if it's not going to go higher in this next few minutes, then the software is going to take the 3%. But then a little while later, it will go higher. But I already took the profit at 3%. So you can't count on the AI to tell me what's going to happen an hour from now, because it doesn't know what's going to happen an hour from now. So I'm willing to miss that trade. I'm willing to let the price go down after the 3% rise and not take the profit and let it go down. This is my way of punishing the market, because I'm not in a hurry to sell my coins. When you first start, you want to see all the action. You're excited. You want to see it buying and selling, buying and selling. But I'm looking at something broader, bigger. Like Trump owns $7 billion worth of crypto. He didn't buy it all at once. He didn't buy it all at the bottom. I'll tell you, you don't accumulate $7 billion at the bottom. You can't, because you need billions of millions of people selling their coins, because you need buyers or sellers in order for you to buy. So if a wealthy guy wants to buy $30 million worth of XRP, he's got to find 30 people willing to sell $30 million worth of XRP. Otherwise, he's going to end up, that price is going to jump sky high. So what they do is they scare the public out. They have all this, they're just trying to get the public to sell, to lose. So they keep driving the prices lower and lower, and that's actually working. That's a method that is working. I've been watching them for years. And because the public, what happens when the coins are going lower, the public is being pressured by their friends and family. Their friends and family are saying, get out, you're going to lose everything. It's a scam. This stuff isn't even real. It's all smoke and mirrors, and all that. How many people got talked out of holding their 10 Bitcoin that they had 9 years ago because all the pressure of their friends and family saying, get out, the coins, you're losing everything. When Bitcoin went, I walked into a UPS store once, and as I was, a UPS mail place, and I have Amazon, doing an Amazon return. I walked in there, and there was nobody in there except one guy behind the counter. And as I was walking up, I said, "So, how's your crypto doing?" And he goes, "Oh man, I don't touch anything. I have nothing to do with crypto. My father lost everything in cryptos." I said, "No way. What did he do?" And he said, "Well, he bought it at 60,000 and then it went to 30,000. Man, that thing was just crashing. So he sold it all at 30,000." I'm like, "Oh man, he should have been loading up at 30,000 when it went down." But instead he sold what he bought at 60,000. He sold it at 30 for a big, huge loss. So the public is running scared, because what does the public think? Think of yourself, some of you. A lot of people think Bitcoin is the crypto market. I mean, have you ever heard of altcoins? Attila, you told me just a
Yep.
little while ago. An
Yep.
altcoin is alternative to Bitcoin. That's
That's
all an
right.
altcoin is. We hear all these fancy terms, but really, the whole term altcoin is just means alternative to Bitcoin, because
Yep.
most people think the whole crypto market is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's just one coin out of 10,000. Okay, and it's extremely expensive on top of it. So everybody's plowing their money into Bitcoin, and they're leaving all these other coins to the wealthy, to the rich. So Trump and a lot of others, like Trump's sitting on $7 billion worth of crypto that he bought while they were going lower and lower and lower. And you notice over the last 6 months they've been pushing these coins down really hard. And what have I been saying on these webinars? I said, man, we're going to see blood in the streets, man, before this market takes off, because they're trying to drive it as low as they can and get as many people out as they can. Because you know how the wealthy are, they want to own all the crypto. They'll let you in, they'll let the public in when they're ready, after they've accumulated enough at the bottom, because they're looking for the mother of all paydays. This is going to be bigger than the tech crash in 2000 or the banking crash in 2008, when they pushed the bank stocks down to $1 and got everybody out, and the whales, the wealthy, loaded up. Then they rocketed those bank stocks to $50 a share, and then everybody came back in, and they're doing the same thing with cryptos, only they started 4 years ago. So we've been on this long-term downtrend, but it's been wiggling. So we've been making a fortune using GoBabyTrade because of the wiggles. So let's get going here. I will go, and you wanted to see the bucket and the whale first.
Well, it's up to
All
you
right, the
if you
way
want
the
to go.
bucket and the whale works is, I was at a webinar. I was actually not a webinar. I was teaching a class on AI to a whole room full of programmers in North Carolina, 80 programmers. And And there was a whiteboard there, so obviously I had to go to it. You know, I saw a whiteboard, so I went up and I drew a picture of, this is like a side note, I'm teaching these guys AI, and but then I just saw the whiteboard, so I drew a picture of a bucket and a well, very rudimentary picture, right? And I said to the audience, I said, if the bucket goes all the way to the bottom and gets the water, and we all know how wells work. It goes down, it gets the water, and goes all the way back up and dumps it out. And it repeats that over and over. How much water can it pump in a lifetime? Now, obviously, they thought it was a trick question, so they started asking questions like, how big is the bucket and how much water is in the water basin and stuff like that. I said, it doesn't even matter. Say there's unlimited water and the bucket's amply big. It's just, but the thing to note is it's going to pump forever. It can't go halfway down and then go back up because the bucket will be empty. So it's got to go all the way down and get the water and go all the way back up. I said, how much water can it pump? And then they started throwing numbers out. 1,000,000 gallons, 1,000,000,000 gallons, 1,000,000,000,000 gallons. Now, each time they threw those numbers out, I'm looking at the audience to see if anybody, there's no objections. Everybody's cool with that. That guy just said 1,000,000,000,000 gallons and nobody said no. Nobody said I object. So I'm like, okay. I said, well, let's look at the crypto market. What if it doesn't have to go all the way down and I can just buy a little and it doesn't have to go all the way up, just down, up, a little wiggle, down, up, give me money, down, up, give me money. How much money can it pump if I just keep doing that forever? Hold that loser, don't even worry about it, because I'm going to pump so much money down here. The profit I'm going to have is going to, that bucket down here is going to be, this barrel is going to be so full that my profit's going to be way up. It's going to exceed anything you're down on these few lots that you're holding. Like Paul said, he had 50 of these. I'm okay with that. I've got a whole bunch of them too. So no matter where it goes, it keeps pumping money. And if we have a big move where like it jumps up like that, a 30% or a 50% move, we sell a whole lot of these losers that you thought they were losers, you sell them off. So I said, how much money can that pump if it keeps doing that forever? So as long as the coin doesn't go out of business and it stays inside here and just keeps wiggling, how much money can it pump in a lifetime? It was beautiful. The whole room got quiet. And I'm just sitting and I'm looking, I'm probably standing, I don't remember what my hands were doing, but maybe I was doing this. I don't know. You know, but I just said, how much money can it pump if it just keeps doing that forever? And the room got quiet. And then I heard one guy in the room go, there's no way that could be real. I love it. I love it. I mean, a whole room. Come on, I got 80 developers here. You guys are programmers. You're in a class teaching you how to program AI, which of all things is not easy. And you guys, and you can't even see the obvious. It's just free money for life, man. So, anyways, I get a kick out of it because I just took away all the baloney. In this trader, I took away all the noise, all the fake stuff. Get rid of all of it. It's just numbers going up and down, man. Everybody's overthinking the market. It's like, stop overthinking everything. You don't think about it all. I mean, you couldn't even walk out of your house if you're worried like that. I mean, do you drive a car? I mean, somebody could crash into you, I mean, you can't overthink stuff. You get in your car and you drive. People get on airplanes. Planes crash, for crying out loud. I mean, you're putting everything on that pilot, you know what I mean? I mean, you're taking risks everywhere. But I don't even see the risk here at all. I mean, I don't even see it at all. And these companies are multi-billion-dollar company, or multi-million at least. I mean, some of these companies are going for a penny that should be going for $20 a share. They're going for a penny. So it's remarkable. And the whales know this. The rich know this. They're looking for the mother of all paydays. I saw it when it happened in 2021. In October of 21, as soon as that market started crashing, I said, oh man, I've seen this pattern before. They are looking for mother of all paydays. The wealthy are so rich.
Isn't this the best example of how you always say you have the market trapped?
I've got them. There's nothing they can do. I got them. They're trapped for the rest of their life. And the lower they go, that just means they can never wiggle a little. Just a little wiggle and give me money. Give me money. Just keep pumping money. Picture if you were a regular toll booth sits out on the highway. It just sits there and cars come to it and they pay, and then you don't, maybe hopefully you're on a road where you don't have to pay another toll. Like in Arizona, we have the Narrows Bridge. You have to pay to go across it one time.
Right.
And it's like an island, so they don't make you pay coming in, but they make you pay going out. They don't care if you're coming in because they know you got to be going out eventually. So they make you pay every time you try to leave the island. And it's just that you just pay that one toll. If that toll was GoBabyTrade, the car would pay it and then try to drive away, and then the toll booth would chases the car and jumps in front of it again and makes them pay again. And then they try to go away and we jump in front of it again. And if they try to go backwards, we start building toll booths in front of them. Now they can't go forward again. I mean, we are just chasing the market. We got them just trapped everywhere they go. And there's nothing they can do to stop us. I always say, some of you hear me say that this is almost feels illegal. I mean, I never realized all these years that the market was just free money. Who the heck knew? We thought you had to gamble and everything else. The market's a joke. It's actually a joke, but you got to set it up right. And that's where the auto trader does all the money management and everything. It makes sure that you're always in the game. You don't let that market breathe without paying you. And, so that's what the auto trader does. It's just, and believe me, some people say, well, I only took this much and that much, I'm like, yeah, but if you do the math, you're on pace to do 100% a year return. Where do you get that out there? What investment out there gives you returns like this? Even if you were on pace to do 30% a year, because it's a real crummy market. They're trying to drive everybody out, and they're actually successful. Every single day, millions of people get out of the crypto market because these prices keep going lower and lower, and the people they're not doing money management. What the people did, I'll tell you what most people did. They go all in at the top, all their money's in, and then when the coins drop, they're not doing anything. They got to wait for the coin to go up 80% before they even break even. With us, we're already way ahead, man. We're always, you see this? Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, all year long. If I go and look at like coin market cap, I mean, right here, let's just look at this. This is, what am I looking at? XRP. Okay, good example. It's just, and some people call me when the market's crashing, like down in here like this, when the coins are really low, and they'll say, Ed, should I stop my auto trader from buying? I'm like, no. I mean, the biggest money you're going to make, it freaked me out when people ask that. It's like, I said, the biggest money you're going to make is what you're buying at the bottom, and you're going to sell it higher. And then this is what I was saying about the market, the coin's jumping straight up, just jumping. I mean, a coin jumps up like that. Anything, when it hit here, anything you owned below that point sold off profitably. All this, and and if I even if I bought it right there, go across, I'm still buying and selling at lower prices down here. Even down at the bottom, you're buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. But once the price goes like to here, anything you own below that is sold off. And so you're constantly buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. All these wiggles up here. Look at this. You know, buy here, sell there. Buy here, sell there. Buy here, sell there. And it's all like free money. This is the person I was talking. It's actually, this is funny because the coin is at 232 now, right? And it sold it originally, the auto trader, the first sell that it did when it took her, it sold it at 238. And somewhere over here, it must have sold a few days ago. Sold it at $2.38. Where's 238 at? 11. No, it wasn't yesterday, so it must have been over here somewhere. Yeah, it was over here. So at 238, it sold her coin, her XRP, all of it off. And then it started making all this money, $600 a day she's making. And she's like, well, I told her, don't worry, when it goes below 238, you just buy it all back again if you feel that way. Frankly, I wouldn't. I told her I wouldn't buy it all back. I would just trade the heck out of it, but so now it's down there. I'll probably give her a call today and say, hey, by the way, it's below where you sold it at. If you want to buy it back, now's the time to do it. It's below it. It's below, but it's just numbers going up and down for the rest of your life. So it's
Hey,
easiest game.
can we go to one of your traders now?
Sure.
Great.
I added a debug thing here just yesterday after I got back from plugging all those network cables in. I wanted to see, because you have one screen here, right? This section is run on one server, and right now I have it showing I haven't finished the load balancing. The way the load balancing works is each person that logs in to look at your website. See, this is just a web page. This isn't your auto trader. Your auto trader is running on our servers. So I'm just talking about for your web page. Each person is, when you go to the website, you're actually logging into potentially a different server than other people to see what your auto trader is doing. We have like 5 web servers. So this is one, server 23. Right now, they're all, once you log in, it stays on that one server for everything you're doing. I'm changing that now. I'm going to change that where this might say server 23. This one here might say server 28. This one might say server 26 down here on the bottom. So I put that on there just for debugging. You won't see it on your trader, but I can see what server each of these sections is going to. So that things will speed things up. Sometimes somebody says, the website's going a little slow, and I'm trying to speed all that up since the load balancer, which is a hardware device, went out. It wasn't doing a good job. In any case, I'm writing that to do that. So what we have on the left here is it shows you on the top left, live trader. So it knows it's not paper trading. Your account balance, my account balance, today's profits. So even $72 so far. But you can
And
scroll down.
sorry, Ed, I gotta ask you, people are gonna ask approximately how much did you start this account with?
200,000.
Okay.
It might have been 150. I'm not 100% sure.
We'll be able to show people in a little bit, if we need to, accounts that were started for much, much less, like $1,000, $1,500.
Oh yeah. We have the full range of accounts. I have accounts that started with $100
Yeah.
and accounts that started with $1,400,000.
Wow. Okay.
And the more money you have, the more money it makes. It doesn't mean the guy with $1,400,000 is getting more trades than you. It just means he's putting more money into each trade.
Right.
Okay, he's not getting better buy and sell signals than you're getting. You're getting the same signals.
Okay.
So remember a while ago, Attila, you said, look at how much money your trader made, Ed. 355,000. And then I said, I didn't take that. He said, what are you talking about? It says you took 350. Actually, it was another trader. It was my other trader that had 950,000. And you
Right.
said, yeah, but it says it right there. I said, well, I didn't take it. You're like, I was freaking Attila out. And you're like, what are you talking about? We're on the air, Ed. What are you talking about?
I remember.
And I said, well, look, I took $72 or I took $83, and and I scrolled all the way. I scrolled down, and there was some crazy numbers down there. I took $1.50. I took $7. Here's one. I took $26. There was another one down there. On January
27th.
Yeah, I was going to go back to January 27th here. Or 26th, I took 2,000 on that one, 2,000 on that one, 1,700 on that one. ACH was making a big move. and all that inventory I had, I'm just dumping it all off. That's why I'm saying don't even worry about the inventory you're holding. Don't worry, because when you have an up day, you're just going to sell it all off. I mean, you got the market by the you-know-whats.
Yep.
The coinanjas or whatever.
Coiniones.
I mean, and then what I love about while it was going up, we were buying more while it was on an uptrend. So we were opening and then closing them right after we bought them, you know, and it was still taking just free money. Like I said, it's an insult to humanity. But I told Attila, when you add up all the profits I took, it added up to that number. So that's why people, sometimes somebody will say, well, I'm only making $5 a trade. Yeah, well, if you add up all the trades you're making, it's going to still add up to a big, like maybe 100% of what you're trading with. If you're making $5 a trade, you're not trading with like I'm trading with $456,000. I'm obviously going to make more money per trade. It's not about how much money I'm making per trade. It's the percent return. Where do you get 50% or 100% or 80% return? You can't go to a bank and get that and just park your money in a bank, and get more than 1% a year interest. Plus, what are they doing with your money while they're giving you 1% a year interest? They're loaning it out to these credit card companies. Where is it? Can you 29?
29.74%.
Yeah, yeah, you want this credit card, so they make all this money, you get nothing, The example I used a couple of weeks ago, I thought it was funny. If you're a little kid and you put a penny in each hand and you go to the little kid and say, which hand's the penny in? He picks that hand and you show him the other hand. You go, nope, it's in this hand. Then if he picks this hand, then you flip the other hand and say, nope, it's in this hand. He doesn't know you have two pennies,
Yeah.
right? That's how they're treating us, like we're 5 years old.
You
You know,
just
they're
you just
treating us like we're children.
in 3 sentences you explained the scam of the fiat system for the last
100
150 years.
years. They've
Yep.
been ripping off society. And it's just criminal. I remember the old passbook accounts. Were you going to say something else, Attila, Edward?
I was just going to say that as I mentioned probably multiple times is that I spent 32 years inside the matrix.
Mm.
You can guess what I mean by the
Well,
matrix.
you describe
It's
what job
right,
was.
right, just over broke. That's a ha ha made up by the government as to what they teach you to do, right?
Where they
They
want to
brain
keep us all. That's
well
how our
they brain
educational system is. It's
right,
designed to keep us
so I call it
uneducated.
the misinformational, misdirectional system that is created and meant for you to be broke, right? What do they teach you to do, right? You're not anything if you don't have a advanced degree that, oh, by the way, you're $250,000 in debt, right? They teach you how to go to school, get a job, trade time for money, period. Right? You're not in a position where this is so counter what the Matrix teaches you, which is financial freedom and to think for yourself and do what you want with your money. Just like you explained. What are you gonna put it in? You talk to a stockbroker, and why do they call them a broker? Because you give them your money until you're broker, right? So what happens, right? They tell you, oh yeah, over even Warren Buffett says, 9 or 12% a year, year over year. Well, guess what? Inflation, real inflation and debasement, meaning the devaluation of your money. Did you know that $400 million a day is printed by the US government into circulation, brand new money? That creates a downtrend of the purchasing power of your money. Oh, by the way, there's this other thing called inflation. You couple the two of them together, and if you're not making 20% on your money a year, you're being scammed.
And they're saying everything's getting more expensive. It's like, well, it's not policies really that are. It's the constant printing of money that's making everything more expensive. I mean, where are the nickel candy bars? They're long gone. That's why our lifespans are so short because I don't know if we can handle, you know, too much of inflation just observing it. I think my grandmother would go crazy if she saw the price of a bag of potato chips. Four
Well,
dollars for a bag of potato chips? Weren't those like a quarter?
yeah, yep. I just published a white paper that compared the last 50 years in the purchasing power of your money, assuming that 1975 your dollar was really worth a dollar. What is that same dollar worth today in 2025? Care to guess what your purchasing power is of that old dollar is today?
I'm gonna say a nickel. I don't know.
Well, you're jaded by the new system anyway. It's 16.7 cents. So
All
if you
right.
don't think you're being scammed, wake up. Wake up. This is not counter government. This is not anti-government. This is you've been in a system and are still in a system where you give 40 years of your life and it takes the on average on an advanced degree 43.7 years to pay your loan back. So what are you doing? Open your
Yeah.
eyes,
You
right?
need a money machine.
You
You
need a money.
need the
Well, there you
ultimate
go.
You
There
need
you
the
go.
ultimate savings account. And this is how people treat it. They just keep plowing money into their account. The more money it has, the more money it makes. It's a simple numbers game. It's a baby game. I call it a baby game. And I watch people doing it. People are selling their rental properties, they're liquidating their gold and silver and because even if you have silver dollars, you're missing, even though you say, well, silver is going up. Yeah, it's going up right now, but what was it doing for the last 22 years, 23 years? It was just going up and down, and it's still going up and down. And some people are waiting for it to go to even new highs. I'm like, for what? You can't even spend it. It's just sitting there. What are you going to do? Leave it to your grandkids? The first thing they're going to do is just cash it in and go buy a bike or something, or
Yeah.
maybe go
Well,
buy a motorcycle. I
actually,
mean,
you bring
what are
up a
they going
good
to do
point.
with that?
You bring up a good point that I don't think Attila, yeah, if he mentioned it, he normally does, but if he didn't mention it, I'll pound it into you, right? What's better than cash in that cash being king, right? That's old. The new is cash flow is king. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? And I'll show you an example at the end where if the trader repeats history over the last 3.5 years, what it's done over the last 3.5 years. And people always ask, and we'll show you, people trading with, lower amounts. But I'll show you an example that if it were to factually repeat what it's done over the last 3.5 years with a $5,000 investment, if you just let it go, don't look at it, don't touch it, just pray over it and let it go. If it repeats itself in that same period of time, there's an opportunity. Don't take this other than a math equation. It's not a promise, it's not a prediction, but if it did repeat itself, 5 grand at the end of 9 years has the opportunity to grow to 2.5 million. Now, I don't know what your 401k is. I don't know what you're doing for a living, but let's just say you had 400 or 500,000 of that and it only turned into to that much. I know that sounds ridiculous to say, but if you had 400 or 500,000 dollars working for you in this trader hands off, guess what you just did? Bought your life back. Because if it repeats itself, it literally generates monthly income. Unless you're going to wait for 62. By the way, I just turned 61. So another year, I'm cashing in the chips and I'm applying for Social Security. But if I had to rely on that, those of you that are less than 50 years old, pay attention to what the system is making you do.
Well, you're getting in a lot earlier. I love it when younger people,
Oh,
when
I
I'm
love
not
it
saying
too.
50s, I mean like people in their 20s and all that. You have an auto trader, it changed your life forever. You don't have to go to the internet. You don't have to look at fake stuff out there. You don't have to listen to all the lies. People teaching classes and they don't even trade the market. I follow the Microsoft model. We eat our own dog food. That's what Steve Ballmer said one time.
Yeah. Hey, do me a favor, Ed. We got folks talking about. Paul says high trade count. Could you do me a favor and bring up the $1 billion report? This is what I refer to in the expectations as the $1 billion report. And the
So
reason
you
why I
go here
call
to
it.
the
Oh, by the way,
website.
stay right there for a second.
I'm gonna
I'm going
put
to put in.
Attila. I'm gonna put
uh,
Crypto Casey on
I
here.
Thank you. I literally just posted it into the, we get to yapping and telling stories and super excited about it. I was remiss in my responsibility to give everybody Crypto Casey's exclusive discount.
There's
But
the link right there.
okay,
Use
stay, yep,
gobabytrade.com/CryptoCasey.
yep, stay right here. Okay. So I'm going to point out a couple of things that we mentioned. Talk about doing your own research. And Anthony, thank you. You piped in and said, "Hey, you don't have to go any further than the GoBabyTrade site." So this is Crypto Casey's custom link that allows you a $1,000 discount. Remember, do the math: $97 a month, $23 a week, 13.9 cents. Let's just say 14 cents an hour that you're paying, not paying health insurance, not paying FICA, FUTA, SUTA, whatever you have to do on an employee. You have a professional trader with 25 years of pure experience. Oh, by the way, that has no emotion, that only wants to make you money. Period. But let's look across the top. You got the pricing. If you want to do your research, you've got videos. You've got videos that Ed, as a matter of fact, when he does go back to the trader, anything that you can think of to ask, and every page and every feature and function has a video associated to it.
This
Right?
one right here says, "Do not things I don't do when don't do this when buying cryptos. Don't
Right.
mortgage your house." Because
Right.
some people are doing that crazy stuff. People I
Right.
shouldn't call it crazy stuff, but they're looking for more money to throw in. The more money it has, the more money it makes. As
Yeah.
simple as that.
And it's not, even though
So I
I
try to
get
talk people
excited.
off that, it's like,
Yeah.
slow down. Your house is already paid off. I don't like the idea of creating debt, but I get where people are at. They just want to. People are going crazy trying to find money,
But
more
it's
money
not
to throw in.
it's not completely outlandish. You talk to
No,
you talk to billionaires, and how did they become billionaires? Because they leverage debt, right?
yeah,
Uh,
but I don't want to tell people to do that. I
no,
actually
no, no, no. That's
because
not
people were
advice.
calling me saying, "Well, Ed, my loan's almost through," and I'm like, "Oh man, you're creating." I'm more worried that they're not going to use it in their auto trader. To be honest, I'm
Yeah, well,
afraid
that's
somebody's going to get a $200,000 second mortgage, and they're going to go out and blow the 200,000. Now you got it. Now you got a debt, and you didn't even, if you'd have put it in the auto trader, maybe I'd feel less worried,
yep.
because at least I know it's working for you and building money.
So if you would click on the where it
Here's
says
videos. Attila made a video on connect
how
your
to connect
trader
it,
to Coin. Oh, was that
right?
Coinbase? Connect your trader to Coinbase. Connect
Right.
your trader to Kraken. It's got videos of how to do it.
Yep.
Yep. Click on the trade counts, and then this is what I was talking
Right
about
here,
the
trade
yep,
counts is your
right.
highest trade counts. Right here, I put a video. I brought this up.
Yeah, and I talk
Hitler
about what
calls
this
this the
report
billion
is.
dollar report. He used to call it $1 million report.
Right. Not anymore. Billion.
It actually shows you, again, I'm all about history, right? About pattern recognition. And it shows you each coin, and you can actually click on a coin. Like if you click on the symbol up here, it'll actually take you to that coin's website so you can see what they do. You don't have to go search in the internet. I try to put things on here that are convenient. It's telling you it's a utility as opposed to a meme coin. It's a utility. Utility means it's a real company with real products and they make money. All right, as opposed to meme coins, a lot of times they're jokes and stuff like that. Some meme coins become utilities like Sheeb. Um, and it's got the price, and then it shows you how many trades it did over the last 3 months. Trades means closed profitable trades.
Right. Remember the system does not, it's specifically programmed to never sell at a loss. I have a question, Ed. So is that a 3 month, 6 month, and 9 month average or
Well, would it no?
cumulative?
Yeah, if no, it's an actual number like this.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 month average. Well, it's gonna no, it's not even an average. It's no. If you look at the on the right here, you got
Got it. Total number of trades in a 3, 6, and 9 month period. Got it.
August, September. I mean, what is that? September. Wait, that's August, September, October.
Right.
Right. For the last 3 months, if I add these three numbers up, that's how many trades it actually did.
Got it. And then the
And then,
far right is the previous year's trade. Got it.
right, that's the last 12 months, 1,272 trades. Okay. So you can see with the monthly average, it slowed down a lot because it was doing, like the last 6 months, things slowed down. But SPA and Swift have been going back and forth. Look, SPA just overtook Swift. For the last for the last few months, Swift was number one. But then before that, SPA was number one. So they go back and forth. They battle it out, these two coins. It's amazing. So it's like I say about a 7-Eleven. What products would I want in my 7-Eleven? And if this was a screen of products like Monster drinks, potato chips, vapes, you would have, I want the top moving items. If I was creating a 7-Eleven, I imagine I would sit down with a distributor and he would show me a screen like this. And they'd say, well, where are the Band-Aids? Well, they're all the way on the bottom. These are junk. The junk. I call them junk. 40 trades over the last year. 84 trades in the last year. 108 trades in the last year.
But
They don't.
if that's the Band-Aids and the iodine,
Yeah,
and
the
then
junk stuff. The stuff you're not going to sell very much of.
well, unless you don't own a trader, you might need some of that.
Oh yeah, you need iodine and Band-Aids. Yeah, but I get it. Um, but yeah, the top moving stuff is what we care about. Really, we care about this stuff. Now, when you first start, you care about active moving coins. You want stuff that right away moves a lot. But once you have a well-seasoned auto trader, let me bounce back to here for a second. 22 lots I own. That means I bought 22 times that it went lower. Even though it's wiggling and I'm buying and selling, it eventually went lower and I held that one. And then it buys and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, and then it went lower and I held that third one. And then this one down here, I'm buying and selling, buying and selling. So I've accumulated 22 lots of ACH, 20 lots of Doge, 34 lots of GRT. Okay? That becomes that becomes what I call a well-seasoned auto trader. That means I've got a lot of inventory. In the example, some of you have already heard me say this example, but there may be new people on here. If I'm running a 7-Eleven and I only have one bag of potato chips on the shelf and a school bus full of kids pulls in, I'm only going to sell one bag of potato chips because that's all I have on the shelf. There should never be empty shelves in a store. If you're walking through a store, you can be like me. What would be the word for it? Nauseated, aggravated. When I walk through a store and I see empty shelves, it irritates me. Because I'm thinking, if you don't have anything on that shelf, you're selling nothing. Couldn't you put something on the shelf? If you own the store, there would be no empty shelves. But it's the workers that don't care. Picture a worker who's sweeping the floor. He's got that big push broom and he's walking right down the middle of the floor. And while he's walking down the middle of that floor, I'm looking at the edges, the sides, and I'm like, look at all that dirt and stuff on the sides. Why doesn't he push it down the side on one side and come back on the other side? They don't. They don't care. They're just, hey, they said sweep the floor, I'm sweeping the floor, marching right down the middle of the aisle, and now you're not getting any dirt. Because when we're walking through the middle of the aisle, what are we doing when we kick the dirt? It's going to the sides. If you're going to clean the floor, sweep the sides. I don't know. I see that stuff. Sometimes I want to walk over and educate the kid and say, you know what? You're not really sweeping the floor if you're walking down the middle of the aisle. But it's not. But then I tell myself, you don't work here. You don't own the place. Take it easy, Ed. You know, just take it easy. It's not your job. But I'm conscientious about that stuff. And I feel that I'm very conscientious when it comes to the market and about I want to trade things that move a lot. And if I want to make more money in a 7-Eleven, I can't raise the potato chips to $50 a bag. Nobody's going to buy them. You got to sell a lot of $4 bags, and that's what we're doing. We're selling a lot of $4 bags. That's the name of the game. Keep turning inventory. Well, you know what's nice about this inventory that we keep turning? All your profits are going into this current profits saved here. So the auto trader's not even using that $100,000. It's just sitting there. What that means is I can use that to live my life. I can do whatever I want with it. I have a Coinbase Visa card. I pull it out every day. I mean, it was great. I mean, I went to the store yesterday. I pull out the Coinbase Visa card. It's a debit card. Comes right out of my cash, right out of my USDC in my Coinbase account. I use it and I say to myself, the card that keeps on giving. You know, it's just like free money. It's just free money. I mean, how much, you know, here, this is a really super slow month. I've only made $2,700 this month of free money. Sometimes I make up to 10,000, you know, and more. I have other accounts with more money in them that actually will do 30,000 a month. You know, it's just free money. It's an insult to humanity, is what I call the market. So anyways, we want products that move a lot. Your monster drinks, you know, that kind of, your vapes, the stuff. If you ever walk in a 7-Eleven, take a look at what people are buying. Just do that. Hot dogs. I was in a 7-Eleven, or it wasn't a 7-Eleven. It was a gas station, but it was like a 7-Eleven. And I looked around there, you know, what people were buying. They were buying cans of Monster, you know, different kinds of drinks, coffee drinks, hot dogs, you know, the top moving stuff. You don't want stuff in there that you're not going to sell. And it's the same way in the crypto market. I don't want to own stuff that I'm not going to turn inventory on. Why should I trade a coin that's going to give me 500 trades a year when I could trade a coin that'll give me 1,200 trades a year? It's like, to me, it's common sense. So this shows us each month how many trades it did that month. The last few months have been really, really slow. Really slow, low. The numbers are low. These used to be 260 trades in a month. If you go, let me see if I have it on the screen. It might not fit. Well, here, 205 trades. Here, 183 trades, 165 trades. You know, but they really slowed down after the crypto summit at the White House, because that's when the whales, the wealthy, knew that they're all going to get rich, because they're going to do everything they can to remove the regulations in the crypto market. So then all of a sudden the numbers started going down, the number of trades per month, because they're trying to slow the market down. They're trying to drive the prices lower and lower and lower. That's what's working to get the little guy out. So the whales, like I said, rich people want to own all the crypto. They don't want to share it with anybody. They don't want somebody working at Jack in the Box to become a millionaire, you know, over this. However, anybody can. It doesn't matter where you work, as long as, because these prices are so ridiculously low. Watch when the crypto market turns up. We've been in this long-term downtrend for 4 years, and the opportunities buying at these crazy low prices, it's off the map. It's like buying Gillette for 2 cents in the 40s. I mean, now when that crypto market turns up and you got all that inventory to dump off, it's going to be a beautiful sight to see. Plus, we show on each coin which exchange has it. You can trade that coin. Like this coin, you can only trade at Coinbase, SPA. It's not available at Kraken. This coin here, the number 3 coin, if it's not, I don't even know what the type is. I gotta look that up. It might be a new coin. But this one here is only available at Kraken. These next few coins are available at Coinbase and Kraken. So I try to put all this convenience on here so people can see, you know, what's going on with the coins. You know, which coins are we trading? So when you first start, you want active moving coins, the most active movers, but then sometimes the active mover will go down. Like I trade Alchemy Pay for the last 4 years. It's all the way down here at 103. Now it was never up at the top, okay? 4 years ago when I first turned the auto trader on, I didn't know I didn't have this report. I only created this report last year. I don't even know if it was a whole year.
No, it was 9 months ago.
All right, so I only recently created this report. But Coinbase only had about 35 coins you could trade back in 2021. So I went to the internet and I searched around and I found ACH. I said, wow, that's like Apple Pay worldwide. It's like a $300 million company. You know, it's like, why, you know, at 12 cents a share. Now it's only at 1.1 cents. Can you imagine? You think I got killed, right? It's one of my biggest money makers. I mean, while it was going down, it was wiggling. So I'm down 75,000 in my open inventory, but I've taken 150,000 of actual profits off the table. The same thing in my bigger account. I'm down 300. No, I'm down 150,000, and I've taken 350,000 in profits
Hey,
in my other account.
Ed, we got some questions. Are you about ready to take some Q&A?
Well, so I'm just, yeah, almost. Just
We've covered a lot, but finish
all
up
right.
whatever you want to finish.
Yeah, did we show the top traders?
Well,
Yeah.
here's the top trader report. You can go to the website and you click on top traders right here.
And what
And
does that tell folks?
that tells me it tells me here's what's important. I used to have more columns on the screen. That stuff's not important. What's important about a trader is how much did I start with 1 year ago and how many profits did I take? This guy took 15,000, started with $3,000 and took 15,000 in profits over the last year. That's a 477% return. Any other column that there used to be another column here, some of you may remember it. It said, what is the account balance right now? And the problem with that column is people put money in and take money out, so it messes the numbers up. And see, your account value isn't what's important, it's how much profits am I taking. What I always say about the robotic trader is its job is to make money. How you spend it is on you.
Yep.
Okay. So some people will just take all their profits out and just spend it. And so the account value will be lower, like I am. I just keep taking money out of the account because I'm living off of it, off this account. Whereas some people might mortgage their house and throw another 200,000 in. So they skew the ending balance. But what's important is how much money did we actually take? 477%. This guy only started with $1,300 and he took 3,400. That's a 255% return. I don't know where anybody could get returns like that. That's just
What, Bank
crazy.
of America doesn't pay that?
Yeah, really. You know, and here this guy here here's one that started with 147,000 and took 166,000 in profit. He over doubled his money, 100% return. You can even click on view details and you can see what coins well, this one's not showing what coins he's trading. I'm not sure what he did. He might have taken all his cash
Yeah,
out.
go all the way back up to the top. Let's see what somebody's doing with 477% return. What are they
Oh, this
trading?
guy.
Yep.
View details. He's trading Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu, let me say this about SHIB, everybody. It's one of the most widely held coins out there. Almost everybody in the crypto market owns some SHIB. Okay. Nowadays, you almost want to say nowadays people are doing like XRP is very popular, super popular. I even bought some XRP in another account. You know, just because I hear it from my users, they're telling me about it all the time. XRP is going to go to the moon. I won't stop trading it though. I'm not a buy and holder. Some of these people are just letting it accumulate in their account because when you go to the actual select currencies screen under the menu, see there's select currencies. You can actually see you can put your coins in and you could say add to price decline, so it adds to losers, add to price advances, so it can add while the coin's going up, so it can add while it's going down, buy more, and it can add more while it's going up, and it allows it to sell, so you're taking profits. What it's doing here is the way the trader works is it's adding while the price is going higher, but then when it goes a little higher, it sells the one that was below it. And so you're always, but the second one that you just added is already positive because it went a little higher, but it's not positive enough to take profits. So you're kind of hopscotching. You got the market coming and going, man. The broker doesn't even know what you're doing, man. They see orders because we don't have access to anything. I can't I can't touch your Coinbase account. I can't transfer money. I can't even execute a trade inside your account. I can't go to your Coinbase account and do anything. But the auto trader can send orders to Coinbase. They're the one filling the orders. They do all the, they see buy this, sell this, buy this, sell this. They don't know what you're doing. All they know is you're making a lot of money. You know, like I said, it almost feels criminal. So some people will put like XRP in here, and I'm gonna just throw a percent just to show some money. And they'll uncheck the allow sell column so it accumulates as it wiggles. And the reason you want, and some people do Bitcoin the same way. They'll they'll do that. Whoops. And they'll say accumulate my, did I miss that again? No, it's
No,
gone.
you're out of money. You're over
No,
104%.
no,
That's
no,
why.
no. I know. Well, I can fix that just by clicking spread funds equally there. So now I'm not. I got 100% of my money and it divided it up fairly evenly. And they uncheck the allow sell. So again, as it wiggles, I mean, Paul or Rocky, that's what you're doing with your Bitcoin. But what you did is you did this. You unchecked all these coins and said, well, I don't want to trade these anymore. So what happened is they went lower, but you're not trading on the wiggles. You're not buying more, so you have nothing to sell. And until it goes back up to your last buy, it's not going to do anything with those coins. I never do that. I don't want to have coins that I'm not trading. When I'm helping people, I always say, put it back on, turn those back on. Um, and so, but this is how they're dollar cost averaging into these coins. If you were to go to, like some people, the way people traditionally do their dollar cost averaging, say with Bitcoin, every month they throw $100 into the coin. They buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, right? The problem with doing that is you're buying it at the same price you already bought it last month for. That's not dollar cost averaging. What you're supposed to do is lower your average price. So you should be adding as it wiggles around, but don't add at the same price you were adding at before. Save that money because you're going to need it for if the price goes lower and lower and lower, or higher and higher and higher. You're going to have money to buy more. So you don't want to be buying at the same price, And the auto trader does that brilliantly,
Yep.
beautifully. Um, as
So
long as I don't hit save on this page, as long as I don't, hit save, it's not going to save any of those changes I just made. And then then there's only one screen right here, right down below here, that actually has the rules. And it's only one screen of rules. Very simple. One little settings of rules. And as Attila says, I wouldn't change these rules.
yeah, no,
Yep.
the far right column is the default rules that it comes with when you buy
Yeah,
it.
if you change rules, you can always put it back. Like if you change this here to some number like that, later on you can see what the default was too. So you can go back here and change it back. If you sometimes somebody will say, "Man, Ed, I messed up my old trader. Can you help me?" And we help you. It's just send email to support@gobabytrade.com and we'll help you. We help people every single day. I'm on the phone talking to people. It's me. I have a whole support team that we're all working. We don't leave you hanging. We leave nobody hanging.
Yep.
And
And I just put the GoBabyTrade support and RCT marketing systems. That's Attila and I. And then also the right below it is the frequently asked questions, which is an ever living system that as new questions come in. So if you have any questions before writing an email and waiting for a response because you're hyper and need it answered, it's probably in the frequently asked questions. Then you can get to that also on the default page when you click on Casey's link, and it puts you in a position where you can type it in. It's AI driven, so if somebody's asked it before, then you're going to get your answers right away. And
so
then if you
you got frequently asked questions here also under your menu. If you go to these columns here, these names like max open lots in a single day. What is that? Well, click on it. It takes you right to frequently asked questions. And it says, here's the subject. Max open lots in a single day. Tells you what it is.
Yeah, just so you know, one of the questions we get often, Ed, is do you keep improving the trader all the time? And I need to tell everybody this, that when I bought the trader, 19, almost 20 months ago, or bought the license, you didn't have this, what you're just showing now with the
No.
Q&A. You've
Frequently
added that
asked
since.
questions is
You've
new.
added the videos. You've added all the videos that were not there when I bought the
And
license.
here's this health meter was something I released just a few weeks ago. See this at the top of the screen? If your health meter is red, you need to click it. But if you click it, because it's telling you got an error. So if I click on the health meter, it actually pops up with this and it tells you the status of your trader.
Wow.
All the green will always be at the bottom. Those are all successful. There's no errors. It's like that's like what you want to get when you go to Quest Diagnostics and get that blood work. You
want all green.
And then the other one is this one here, and I'm colorblind. I assume that's yellow. Is it yellow?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Just informational. That's just informational. It's basically saying traders not set to save profits. Well, in my case, my total profits taken or no, current profits saved right here. If I click on manage profits, I said percent of profits to save is set to 0. Your default is save 100%. I've already got 100,000 in my save bucket. I feel like I don't need to save more. So that means if I'm not saving it, that means the auto trader's using that extra money to trade with. But I want to have at least an initial bucket of saved money for my life, even for life. If you need to get 4 new tires, boom, there it is. You've got extra money. You need a new cell phone. You want to go out. I bought a new Range Rover last year. I took 200,000 out of my saved money and went and bought it. I didn't care. It didn't even mean anything. People go, "Oh my God, you threw 200,000." I don't even care. It's all pennies. It's all free money. I don't know what you're thinking. People view money as wrongly. Once you get it, and I didn't always live like that. I didn't always look at money like it was nothing. But once you have an auto trader, you really do realize it's just a joke. And that's why the rich get richer, man. They're just raking free money out of the markets, and they're telling you that it's all impossible. You need to gamble. You need to get a 29% credit card. It's like it's criminal what they're doing when it is free money when you do it right.
Let me say this, Ed, before we go to the Q&A or the questions that people have. I need to let everybody know that I subscribe. Before you said, Ed, you subscribe to something that Steve Ballmer said. I subscribe to what Warren Buffett said over 20 years ago. If you're not making money while you sleep, you're going to work till you die. So folks, you're looking at the system that allows you to make money in your sleep, and it's got a 25-year track record. And I'll also say this, and I usually end with this, but I want to say it now because it's that important. When you work and do what you do for a living to earn your money, then you have your money, but your money's unemployed. So there's no better way to give your money a job than to put a portion of it into the trader and automate it and let it work for you 24/7 while you sleep, while you're awake, literally 24/7, 365. Folks, I know this gentleman 13 years now. I've seen what he's done with this product, and I've seen the result. I've spoken to thousands of people that have owned the stock trader. Not as much of the crypto trader because that's newer. But the only people that aren't crazy about the trader are the ones that don't own it. Every single person.
All the criticisms, any criticisms you hear on that internet are people who don't own an auto trader.
That's right.
And and even ChatGPT, because where are all the drop-down menus? Where are all the crazy stuff you can do? I got rid of all of it because you're gambling. This is really people who are vastly knowledgeable and people who know absolutely nothing use this auto trader.
Yeah, okay.
It doesn't matter what you know because the auto trader is doing all the work right out of the box. It's a turnkey system. You turn it on. There's no other system like this where you don't have to change anything. It even tells you 3 top moving coins, great moving coins right off the bat as soon as you sign up. And as soon as you sign up, it says, hey, here's 3 great coins. You can just pick those 3 and say go. Then the software starts in paper trade mode. And then as soon as right after that, whenever you're ready to go live to connect with Coinbase, we even help you do that. We don't leave anybody hanging, So once it's connected to Coinbase with the API connection, you're done. End game. Then you, for the rest of your life, all you do is just go to the website, see how it's doing, you're done. The only thing I don't have on here is anything with a big red X. That would be at the top. It would be above the informationals. If there was, and that would say you got a problem. And usually it's like your trader's out of money because and why would your trader be out of money? Well, you know, some people do crazy things.
Yeah.
Somebody will go to Coinbase and just spend all their money and buy it or transfer all their money out to go do something else. Or they'll go out and buy $50,000 worth of XRP and use up all the money. And then the auto trader said, well, I don't have any money to work with. So what happened? All the money's gone.
Okay, Ed,
So
question
that would
time.
tell you that, you would see it in your health meter.
We got to get into the questions if you don't mind, sir.
All right, I'm going to get into my second bottle of water here.
All right. Now, so I'm going to do something that we don't normally do, but Gina, you raised your hand very early on, and I put it down for you, and then you raised it again. So guess what? Get ready because you get to talk.
All
Okay.
right.
I'm going to turn on the allow talk, which again we don't normally do, just for sake of time, because we're already 2.5 hours into your valuable time, but hopefully you're getting everything out of this. So Gina, you're on. Jeannie, you with us? It looks like you're live, but we can't hear you.
Is she muted?
No, she was muted and then came off of it, but we can't hear her.
We have a lot of vices. It must be a whole family. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I have some people with 19 people in their family, cousins and everything, and they all own auto traders. And they're all talking to each other every day about what's going on in the market. Today, you can see today's move. The coins aren't even hardly moving at all. See this today's move? The coins aren't even hardly moving. Today's not a vast day for doing things. Some people will say, my auto trader's not doing anything today. Well, the coins aren't moving today. And I can see down here in my lower right, today it did one sell of Dogecoin at 8:51 in the morning, and then the coin went, the coin went down. See, I sold it. It sold. I say but it sold. The price is 17.788. And what basically what 8:51, 9:51, 10:51, 2 hours later, the price dropped to 17154 and it bought it back. I love it. It's just numbers. So it went up, it sold it, it went back down, it bought it back. Thanks. I don't know what to say. I mean, I've taken all the sport out of the market. And let me tell you this, the one thing. I'm not a genius. I just drink smart water.
This segment brought to you by Smart Water. I swear they're going to have to start sending us money.
But I'm not a genius at all, if you think about it, really. I've tapped into something over the years, and then I stuck with it. And I was constantly getting feedback. Constant feedback. Even right at Microsoft, when my boss, Jim Peterson was his name, if he's watching this, when we went into his office and he said, "Don't worry about them, you're right." It's the same thing. I've gotten constant feedback. People telling me, "You're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right." TD Ameritrade calling, saying, "Will you connect to us?" Since then, Interactive Brokers called me cold and said, "Will you automate us?" Robinhood called me cold. Chase called me cold. I literally had to go into Chase's office in Palo Alto and help them program their API. They had nothing. I had to literally write TD Ameritrade's API to make the connection. They didn't have anything. So, I mean, I literally had to do it all for them. And they're all surprised that who is this guy and why is he willing to do all this for everybody? It's like I've changed the world, and I really have. And I've changed it for myself too. I mean, I'm at ease with the planet. So many of you have heard me say that. I'm at peace with the planet.
Sorry to interrupt, but I got to ask Russell Gardner something. He made a comment in the chat. He says, "You will lose some money with this trader, but you can just write it off as a loss." I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Russell. I mean, if you're looking at your total account
Hey,
value,
Attila, don't swear.
Well, I mean,
The auto trader is never takes a loss. It never sells at a
yeah,
loss.
I don't know. Can
So,
you clarify your statement? Because if you're looking at the total value of the account, that will go up and down. Because guess what? If you buy a stock like Tesla, does the
anything, and it
does
goes
the,
down.
any stock, if it goes up or down, it's going to change in value. That's the same in crypto. So we just need edification on your
But you
comment
won't,
because
but it won't, but we're not going to sell it at a loss
no, the trader doesn't do that.
Yep.
because
Yep.
we want to build inventory.
Unless you force it to sell,
I mean,
which you
if
can
you're
do.
going, yeah, if you're going to on the highest trade counts and you're picking coin number 323 and 342, and it doesn't have much action, then maybe your trader's just not making much money. But as far
Up
as
all the way
losing
down here,
money,
yeah.
you can't unless the coin goes out of business or it's delisted even. But by then, maybe you've already made a bunch of money on it. So
Yeah.
just if you wouldn't mind, just clarify what you're talking about there. That would be helpful.
All right. So we're going to go into a Q&A session. I love the Q&As.
Edward, go ahead. Start it off, buddy.
Yep. Sorry, I was typing. Well, this one's easy. Dean, I think you're new with
Dean
us.
Rappa?
Dean Rappa. So he says,
All right, Dean.
hello from Vegas. So hello back. Glad you were able to join us. All right. Pam. We love you, Pam. So I noticed
Pam
that
Morris.
Pam Morris. Yeah. I noticed that
I talked to a lot of people. I
yeah,
recognize a lot of
me
names.
too. I helped set her up and get her started, and I still owe her a phone call back about switching coins, which I highly recommended not. But we'll
We
let you
try
do
to
what you
help
want to
as
do,
much as we
right?
can, but we're not
Yep.
investment advisors, right?
Right.
We're just
Right.
showing you how to use the auto trader. I know how the software works. I know how to get the most out of the software, but I'm not an investment advisor. I'm not registered or any of that.
Yep. No worries. She said, I noticed that one of the top traders just traded one coin. I know the trader is designed for more coins, but I'm curious under what circumstances would that work? For
Well, he didn't have a
instance,
lot of money.
could the trader be used to buy fractional Bitcoin? Yes, that's the dollar cost average piece, and have it capture the volatility, which over time will smooth out because the institutional buyers, I think, needing that. But if these micro movements could capture what would make sense and be a reasonable way to use the trader. So I think we covered that when we talked about the dollar cost averaging,
Yeah,
right?
I'm not worried about anything smoothing out because when you think about smoothing out, you're thinking dollar cost averaging is the average of all your buys, and then if you go halfway back up, you break even. If you go halfway back, if the price goes halfway back up. But what we do is we're perpetual money. It doesn't even matter. Forget the average price because we're constantly, see this constant buying and selling forever. Profit wise, I'm all the way up here. I don't even care anymore about this inventory that I'm down on over here. I don't care. Like ACH, I don't care if it ever goes back to 12 cents. That was my original buy price. It's at 1 cent. I don't care. I'm always taking money. Look, in today alone, it canceled that one order there. So the software will cancel an order if it's not gonna get filled at the right price. If the bottom drops out while the order is going through, I'm not gonna accept a losing trade. So it rebought. It bought it at the price went down or it went up a little bit, so it had to buy it there. But it canceled this one because it went up too high, or it went down and it wasn't ready to buy again. But in any case, it bought ACH there. If I scroll down, where's the last time? Here's another open. It opened it there. And you can, and here's an open and here's a close. It's all about just keep giving me this profits will add up forever. And the longer you run it, The example I had is like a window. I have a window right next to me here, that one that goes up and down. What if you were paid every time it had an up, every time you pushed it up? So it goes down, it can go down, 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 but then if it tries to go up, pay me. You have to pay every time it goes up. And as long as it doesn't go to the bottom, which is the windowsill, as long as it stays in that window, or well, yeah, it's just going to keep paying me forever. This is a forever trader, you know. You're just going to keep taking money forever. When you first sign up, your natural instinct is going to say, how come my auto trader's not putting all my money in? It's not investing enough money. I want it to invest more. Why? In your mind, you're thinking it needs to invest more. It doesn't. You only need to put your toe in the water. If it goes lower, you'll buy more. It's the number of trades. Like I said, you can't, if I'm in a 7-Eleven filling up my shelf with 700 bags of potato chips, when I'm only going to sell 30 bags a day, makes no sense. You don't, so the answer isn't to just fill up the shelves with more and more and more. I want to make more. No, what you need is more customers coming in the store is what you need. And it's the same thing here. You need the prices to move around more. And that's up to the market. That's not up to us. The market is going to decide how much whether the coins have 30% up days, 20% up days. The market has declared today to be a very slow day. Look, not even, that's less than 1%. This is only down 1%. Look at Bitcoin down here in the lower left is down 0.8%, not even a 1% move. It's just a crummy, slow day. So we're not doing anything. We're just like, hey, you don't want to move the coins. If I buy it here, I can't sell it unless the price goes higher. And it's going to go higher because it's always going to wiggle, just like we show on here. Every one of these wiggles, you can see them all these little jagged marks. It's constantly moving, and that's never going to stop for the rest of your life. That's how the market is. It's been like that forever. And it's just going to keep wiggling. And that's what this is. This is a wiggle trader. Should I call it a wiggle trader?
Somebody
Yeah.
last
Maybe I
week
should go out
said,
and buy all these domains, wiggle trader, and have it point to GoBabyTrade.
so, all right. So, let me, Dan, hey guys, what's the status of the Discord support group? So, Dan, we are probably not going to do a Discord group anytime soon. I think as we progress, we're gonna give you more points of support. But if you're not already a member, I'm putting it into the chat. That is our GoBabyTrade support group within, and it's not just a support group. So it's everybody that's involved that wants to participate, either owns the trader or wants to own the trader and needs more information. That's the best place for us to communicate and support right now, outside of the support emails that we gave you. So it's free to join. You're going to see a lot of folks in there, a lot of activity. We post reports. We're doing pretty much every week, trying to add value to just educate people on the overall, because financial intelligence for you, which is also our company, is all about educating you in this space. Not only the trader, but the trader is a great place to start. If we're gonna show you how to make money in your sleep, then we're gonna give you access to resources that are going to help you mitigate taxes, help you manage and build your castle properly so that your assets are protected, all those types of things. So feel free to join that. That's the best place to start. So thanks, Dan. So all right,
So
Zoom user.
what do people think of this thing?
What do people think of what thing?
Of this bucket in the well?
Oh, the bucket in the well. I thought you were asking
Does
about
it
the.
resonate with you? Does it help clarify
Yeah.
anything?
Put in the comments.
Yeah, if you literally take it as, you've explained it before as this is exactly what the market does. It simply wiggles, goes down, buys. But here's the big tripping point that early on I tripped over and a lot of people trip over is the fact that if you're not trained to be a trader, then this helps it make sense. But if you look at it and say, okay, if you didn't have this trader, how could I conquer the market myself? Well, the answer is simply you can't. Even if you're a professional
No.
trader that spends all of your days behind 7 different screens that put you in a position where you're analyzing everything manually in the marketplace, then you still have your eyes
Well,
covered and you're still throwing
here's
a
the
dart.
problem,
Here's why.
Howard.
Hold on. Here's why. Because the trader literally, you cannot outthink 3+ million lines of code, and it does not. I executed a trade. I didn't. My trader executed a trade earlier today on a dip that as I was watching the market, the dip didn't exist. But microscopically, it in a millisecond, it dipped, and the trader bought more. And then all of a sudden it popped back up. Nowhere on the chart does it show it that price
Nice.
moved that low.
I like that. So what happens is here, when a person buys psychologically, first off, let me say this. Do you notice what this is doing? It never went up. You originally went in here and it went down. When a person buys a coin manually, they're looking at charts, they're getting this idea that I'm going to jump in now. Sometimes somebody hears news out there and says, "Oh, XRP is going to go to 500,000 by tomorrow afternoon. Oh, I better jump in and buy it now." That's different. But if you're sitting there looking at charts and graphs and all this, and you say, "I'm going to jump in now and buy it," even if it goes up, you only own one lot. So you did one little buy that you basically gambled on, and it went up. You got lucky. What if it would have gone down? See, then where are you at? Then it's like, uh-oh, I bought it up here. Now what do I do? Now what do I do? It's down here. You're dead, and then you don't have a strategy for how to handle the losers, so you're not doing any of this. The market's doing this. You're just doing this, watching it go down. You're just dead. So the person mentally, when they go to buy a coin, in their mind, they're thinking it's going to go up. That's what they're thinking. But the auto trader's the opposite. The auto trader says, that coin, as soon as you bought it, the auto trader says, that coin's going to drop 99%. So the auto trader says, spread some money out around here. Don't use it all up here. Reserve some money for when it goes down here, that you're always in the game. The secret is always being able to trade. Always be trading. What was that movie?
ABT. ABT.
Glenn Market?
Oh, no. Glenn Ross, where it's ABC, always be closing.
Always be closing. All right, that's what it reminds me of. But I changed it to always be trading, because then you got the market. They got to just keep pumping you money. This is a 7-Eleven without the bricks and mortar. You don't have to hire anybody. You don't have to have any licenses. It's just,
nope.
What do I call it? An insult to humanity.
An insult to humanity. It's just. I swear we're going to capture. Attila and I have been chatting in the background about capturing all the edisms, right? It's just prices going up and down. It's an insult to humanity. It's
we got the market trapped.
Got the market trapped, right? All those.
Don't let the market breathe.
Don't let the market breathe. We're going to capture.
No more free ride for the big boys.
No more free ride. So we're actually going to put those together we're going to clip them all together and then post it out there so that everybody can get the edisms. All right. So Don says
no more free ride. When the market, it's the whales driving these prices down to the ground. And when they do that, the public, you'd be surprised how many sell off at a loss.
Right.
They bought it up there and they're selling it down here at a loss. And then and you notice how they rocketed it up. They just went straight up. It's just like boom.
Well, one of the hidden secrets of the trader is it takes all emotion out of it.
Yep.
Well, absolutely. You're at ease. When the market crashed 30% a few weeks ago,
on the 10th of October.
October. Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody was reaching out to us, probably to you too, Ed. Ed said,
They were saying, Ed, I could just see you laughing. And then
"Oh
what's
yeah,
funny is
but
when I read
here's
the message on my cell phone, I was actually laughing because the market's such a joke when it went down like that.
But here's the magic: people that own the trader made money
Oh, we cleaned up.
while everybody else was bleeding in the street, like you said.
Yeah.
So Scott says, Scott said, hey, in the bucket in the well, any way that you can program it to every time when it dips all the way down and you own all of those positions to get all the spigots to be spitting money as it goes past them.
Well, I'm not going to program this thing again. Now
I know. So then Don says GBT equals gotta be trading.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. All right. So, Zoom user, why is Coinbase compliance stopping trading? I don't know what that means.
There's nothing stopping trading as far as I know. Ed?
No. Individually, what it is they want, do you have your tax stuff, your social security number in there, that kind of stuff? Because they want verification on that. I got an email that said that.
Oh, all the KYC stuff.
You need compliance, you got to respond to this and, and go into your Coinbase account and fix that. Otherwise they will. Sometimes, I mean, their support department is so terrible, but usually I've never seen anyone not get turned back on if they do turn you off. If they freeze trading for any reason. It's very rare though. I would hear about it. And I haven't heard anybody lately.
Talk about compliance issues, right?
Yeah, they've got millions of users worldwide, and we have a lot of clients all over the world, and
Yes, we do.
Australia,
Yes, we do.
a lot in the UK. But I don't know anyone that's frozen the trading.
Okay. All right, Ted. This is for Mr. B. Ed B. Would it be more accurate to have the 3% trades on a 9 to 12 month exponential closing trades for this year, other than the last year's count or highest trade count page? I think I understood that.
What did it say? I don't understand it.
Would it be more accurate to have the 3% trades on a 9 to 12 months exponential, I'm not sure, closing trades for this year, other than the last year, or rather than,
you mean like from January or from January to now instead of from November last year?
You like a calendar year? Okay, well that's a fair assessment.
Well, I don't like that because it's just because at the beginning of the year, what are we going to do? We won't have a report.
Right.
And then February, it'll only have January and February, and then March, it'll have January, February, and March. And
right, where this is a
the trailing 12 months.
Trailing 12 months. Got it. Okay. All right, that makes sense. All right, Pam, if I'm only trading altcoins with high volatility and have high inventory, is there any way to predict a collapse? No. So we can
I mean,
stop.
what is a collapse other than the whales trying to get the little guys out?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if there's any more of a collapse, it's going to bounce off the bottom.
I mean, if you want to see a collapse, look at where the stock market is right now. Sky high. And they're laying off. They're not even bashful. They're laying off all over the country. GE, Microsoft, I mean, they're all Google. They're laying off thousands of people all over the country, and their prices are sky high. I mean, I loved Microsoft at $30 a share, but at 500, I don't like it, especially in this economy and this market. That market could come tumbling down, and then you want to talk about getting wiped out. these coins were already sitting at the bottom, man.
Yeah, now
I mean, where are they going to go? There are 10,000 garbage cryptos out there. Do you think Coinbase let garbage coins in? Attila, do
no.
you think Coinbase would do that?
No, it's their reputation on the line, Ed. They're they're getting actually all the exchanges, not just Coinbase and Kraken, all of them, especially the centralized ones mainly, are getting very, very picky and very, very selective, more so than ever, with who they choose to list. Because they want to eliminate, they know that we're going mainstream here in the next 3 to 5 years, and they want to eliminate all those. Well, not all, but it hasn't been that many coins that have been delisted, but they want to bring that down to hardly any, like zero, because again, it's their reputation at stake. So,
Yeah.
good question, Ed.
Coinbase only brings in, like, allows us to trade about 350 coins. A few years ago, it was only 35 coins.
And that's
And
out
they've
of
been
about
very good.
20,000. That's out of about 20,000 altcoins that exist today. Imagine that.
So they're,
Yeah.
they're being, they're being careful about what they let in.
They're a publicly traded company. They don't want anything bad to happen because that means
Right.
their stock goes down.
Right.
Yeah, that's
All
another
right.
thing. I look on my phone here and I can see Coinbase, since they're publicly traded. I always keep an eye on them, and they've been holding their own. Let me look here real fast. Coinbase is at 304, $304 a share. That's not a $20 coin.
Nope. Nope. All right, Una. I am not on the platform yet as I'm waiting for verifications from Coinbase for onboarding. Okay, well, great. I don't
I
know when you,
wouldn't.
well, no, well, I'm
I
not,
wouldn't wait, because there's no reason for them not to just turn you on. I mean, what's the problem? I mean,
Okay,
as
no,
long as your
let me
ID matches is your
let me speak
driver's
to that.
license matches what you're putting in for a name and address, then you should be fine.
yep.
Let
Go
me
ahead,
let
Attila.
me let me make a comment because this happens frequently. So when you put in any crypto into Coinbase, and you're new, they will send you an email saying your account is basically on hold until we let you know that that money is freed up. What they don't want you doing for AML purposes, anti-money laundering, they don't want you buying anything, USDC or XRP or any crypto or stablecoin, and then immediately send it off of there to another exchange.
Mhm.
But if you're trading with GoBabyTrade and you bought your USDC and it's sitting there, you could ignore that message. You could connect a trader and because the USDC is going to reside on Coinbase. It's not going anywhere.
Yep. I think there's a follow-up. So Una says, my question is around the practice trading with GoBabyTrade. So Una may already own the trader. I'm not sure. If you can, if you're still on with us, then put that in the chat. Yes or no? Do you own the trader? I started the process a few months ago. Not sure how much I started with, but the daily. Okay, so Una owns a trader. Daily profits seem low, like 100 to 300. Is this because the markets are low now, like Ed said? The answer is yes.
Yes.
So,
They're trying to drive as many people out as they can. Like I said, it's different some people sometimes say, well, what if everybody ran an auto trader? Well, nobody would lose, we'd all be great, because you don't have to have a loser and a winner. What you have is, if I want a loaf of bread, I go to the store and I buy a loaf of bread. I benefited because I wanted the bread. The store benefited because they sold me bread that they produced or bought at a lower price. So we all win. The difference is the whales, the wealthy, are different than we are, than normal people. They want to own it all, and they want us to live in the poorhouse. That's the way it is. And the crypto market is so new, and that's why I said I recognized then in October of 21, when the crypto winter started, I knew right away what was happening. I knew right away when they started slamming the market. I'm like, whoa, I've seen this pattern before, man. They did it with the bank stocks in 2008. They're trying to drive everybody out, and it's working. I've been watching them do it, and I get all the feedback, and I hear what people say. You know, they're when prices go down, most people out there are buying holders. So
Right.
can you imagine if you bought Alchemy Pay ACH at 12 cents and the coin is now at 1 cent? You're just dead. If you're
Yep.
not running an auto trader where you're constantly taking money, then you're just dead. You're waiting for it to go all the way back to 12 cents. Good luck on that. I don't know when that's going to happen. But I know I'm taking money forever, and I don't care where the price goes. So for us, they can't hurt us. So that's the problem. The whales, the wealthy, want to own it all. Does the Trump family trust really need? They already have $7 billion worth of crypto. He's going to turn that into 70 billion. You watch. Why? Does he really need it? Do they really need that much money? You know, to take it away from everybody else? You know, and that's basically where the wealthy are. The wealthy want to own it all, and you to own nothing.
Nels, how do we know what coins to buy? So this is an earlier question, so we may have touched on it, but we'll touch on it again. And how does the trader handle the overall market downtrends? You
We
mentioned it
love down.
continues.
Down is
Yep,
good.
down is good. Yep, that's another one. That's another Edism.
Yep.
Uh, you mentioned it continues to buy as the price goes down, but doesn't it have to get back to its initial price to complete selling? No, no.
No,
Hold
it
on.
never has to go back up here to the top. I started ACH at 12 cents. It's at 1 cent. I don't care if it ever goes up there. I watched it go all the way up to 6 cents and then come back down to 2 cents and then go back up to 6 cents and then go back down to 2 cents. Now it's at 1 cent. I don't even care because every time it went up like that, I sold all that inventory off at a beautiful profits. And then it goes back down and I'm buying again. But while it's buying, it's not going from 2 cents to 6 cents and 6 cents to 2 cents back. It's going from 6 cents to 5.8 cents to 5.7 cents back up to 6 cents. It's jumping, it's moving little moves
Right.
constantly all over the place. And you're just constantly taking money. Get
Yeah,
a
it's
jar.
it's so
I
it's
suggest you get a jar and throw marbles in it and watch how it fills up. It will spill over. It has no choice. The profits got to go somewhere, and they're
right.
real, and it's real money, and they will add up.
So the last part of Dell's question, does GoBabyTrade only buy, sell spot price, or does it short? No, it never, ever, ever sells. So I'm sorry, yes and no. Yes, it only buys spot. It never leverages, never sells short, never sells at a loss. It collects inventory, and when the price jumps, it sells it off. Period.
But we don't send market orders. What we do is we hide all the orders. You see this L2 here? You don't have it on your screen. It's too much data again to transmit over the internet, but I can show you. That L2 is the level 2 screen. These are actual orders that people submitted that are sitting out there in public view. Professional traders are feasting on this info. They live and die by this info. They're literally making trades. Here, see that one there is 53,000 shares, and this one here is 432 shares. This is a bogus trade here, a bogus order that they put in there just to mess with the price. They say, so your best bid price right now is 01181, or your best ask price, and the bid price is 171 shares, which is another bogus number because you're buying 10,000 shares. You're not buying 400 shares or 171 shares. They throw that out there to confuse the public. So as far as the public sees, it's called the best bid and ask. You're seeing this number for the ask and that number for the bid, and you're thinking those are the best numbers, but they're not. They're the other numbers. So if you're buying 100,000 shares or something, you're actually gonna, if you're gonna pay a much higher price in order to get that 100,000 shares. See, this, you don't need to know all this stuff, but I know it, and that's what's important because the auto trader knows what the real price is. The real ask price, best ask price, based on the volume you're trading, is up here. The real bid price when you're selling is really a much smaller number than what you're seeing as the best price. It's down here.
Yeah,
So
I recently read an article about about that level two, in when you talk about bogus orders. So the speculation is that those bogus trades are put in there to mess with the algorithm, to mess with the pricing, and which is, this market, just like every other market on the planet, whether it's buying and selling eggs or buying and selling stocks, is manipulated. Period.
oh,
Here's the
big time,
here's
big
here's
time.
the
You
cool
are
part.
getting ripped off royally, and you don't even realize it.
Here's the cool part. You said it interrogates the level two, so it throws out all the good and bad stuff and only shows the real stuff, right? And that's what it calculates on. And that's why I mentioned earlier, mine took a trade and bought more, when it would, by all other information and data that was available to me, the coin never reached that price. But GoBabyTrade interrogates it and bought it at the cheapest price.
Yeah,
So,
Hey,
Baby
Edward.
yes,
Trade
sir.
adds up the volume of what you're actually trading and says, oh, this is the price he's really going to
Right.
get.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, and
Yep.
it's not what you consider down here. Sometimes somebody
Right.
will send me email or send us email and say, hey, you know, the best price was, it's been sitting at this price all day. And I'm like, yeah, it can sit there all day all you want. But if you go to try to buy that coin, you're gonna, based on the amount of shares you're gonna buy, you're paying this up here, not that.
Right.
So you're never
So,
gonna get filled at that because it's, you know, you're buying more shares than what's
yep.
available at that price.
Right.
Attila, you had a question?
No, I mean, I just, our friend Mr. Amadeo from Colorado is actually asking a question in the Q&A for the first time in months. So it's a real easy one. Mr. Barsano, have you considered launching an app version to broaden the GoBabyTrade platform?
Ah, right.
Well, you know, just go to your, I don't need an app version. Just go to your phone and go to Safari, the browser, and open up GoBabyTrade.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it works best on,
It's a website.
I use Google, and it's very mobile friendly.
Yeah, it's
All
mobile.
right. Yep.
All right. So,
Okay. Paul, if you
Paul.
say to take a profit if it meets the amount, does it sell the whole lot, or does it just take that as profit? So, Paul, I think I understand your question. Each time it buys, it isolates it into one
That
lot.
individual lot like that.
Right.
That's one lot. Now, if you bought it before at another price, that's your other lot. The most recent one is at the top. This is the one that's going to sell that entire lot off at once.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to consist of internally at Coinbase, it may, I'm trying to sell, let's see, 584,000 shares of ACH. If I go to the level 2 screen and I add up the starting here and I'm going to sell, I have to scroll down to the bottom. It's going to add up 584,000 shares all the way down to wherever all this adds up to. It's going to sell to that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, it's going to sell to all these different buyers all the way down. You know,
Those are the
until you
level.
fill the order. So it may go to many buyers at once, but as far as we're concerned, we sold it all at once.
Right. Right. Okay.
Coinbase will keep track of the average price that you sold it at.
Yeah, that's another good thing. You don't have to keep track of anything except for your profits. Cindy, can I upload a screenshot to this group? I think so. I think so. It just has to be there. In your chat, there is the ability to attach something. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But what you can do, if you want, Cindy, I think you're part of the community. You can post it in there if you'd like.
We may be getting too late for that. It's already 3 hours.
Yep. Yep. No worries. All right. Steven,
We
I
already
just
exceeded 3 hours, folks.
I just literally, yes, we gotta we gotta
And it's only a 2 water bottle webinar. Once I run out of water,
you stop
and
talking.
I'm down to
That's
here right now on this last bottle.
Steven. Steven says, I just
You can
literally
see
signed.
Attila probably going to the bathroom right now.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, but I don't see your face.
All right,
Uh,
Steven, I think you're new to us. I just literally signed up 2 days ago. Congratulations. I'm very excited
Welcome aboard.
about using this amazing trading system. When I created my account and connected it to Coinbase, it defaulted to trade XCN, L3, and SUI as the initial three coins.
I love it.
I recall you guys have said previously that these are automatically selected as the best coins on my behalf. Not automatically selected, but you
No.
could choose your own coins. Those were just the default coins built in based on
People who don't know what
right,
coins to trade.
right,
If you don't
right.
know what coins, you got to start somewhere. And what they were is, at a lot of people trade those coins. If I was to go down here and go, well, let's just sort it by this.
Yep. Well, he goes on to say, but these three coins suggested are low down on the highest trade report. Would you suggest that I add more coins to trade with? I have added a few more as a default.
Well, here, XCN is only on line 10. That's not bad.
yeah,
XCN is on line 10.
that's not way down.
That's not
Yep.
way
Well,
down.
what? Probably
SUI,
not. Right.
SUI is on line 74, but it's still 745 trades last year. I love SUI. I trade it.
Let me tell you,
I
SUI,
also trade L3, and that one, where is L3 at? Line 34, again, 845 trades. I mean,
can I
line
say
34.
something? I'm in this space 5+ years. SUI is a monster project. It's not going anywhere. It's a layer one, and there's so many things being built off of there. SUI could be the equivalent of what happened in the last bull run to Solana. So you've got two amazing coins right there. What's the third, Ed?
L3, level 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another great
I mean,
company.
yeah. I would.
They're not slouches. What it is you may be looking at, again, a slow market. So you're thinking, oh, these coins aren't performing. I hear it all the time,
Right.
the market's not moving. I'm gonna change my coins. It's like changing your coins isn't gonna help, because you're just chasing the market then, because just jumping around, they're either gonna they're all in the same boat. If I look here at the number of trades, I mean, on these top coins, 39 trades last month, 27 trades, 46 trades. Where are the 200s? Now you can sort that and say, okay, I'm going to trade these other coins, but you can do that. You could say, here, give me but what was number one there is not, wasn't number one the previous months. I mean, here it only did 18 trades that month, so they're all, this one here, even though if I sort it by, this one here did a great month, but then look what it did the prior months: 9, 21, 20, 10, 16. So, that's the problem is, changing coins isn't the answer.
No.
Yep.
I would, and I don't like the idea of adding too many coins. The top, if you look at the top trader report, 3 to 5 coins is the optimal number of
Yep.
coins, because you start spreading your money too thin. If you have 10 coins, instead of 30% and 35% and 35%, you can see here the percent of money dividing up that 100% of your money. You got 10 coins, you're doing 10% per coin, which means when a coin does a big jump, you don't have much money in it because you spread it out to too many coins.
Yeah, and Scott touches on that. He says, in your opinion, Ed, what is the perfect number of coins to trade? And if it depends on how much you have in your account, much money, I'm assuming, can you give me some examples? For example, 0 to 5,000 equals 2 coins. 5K to 20K, 4 coins, right? We've talked about it before, and if you have $5,000 in there. 1 to 2 coins is ideal.
All you need.
And five to infinity, or 5 to 2 million. 4 coins is sufficient,
Yeah,
particularly as your account
max,
grows.
5 max. I
Yep.
mean, my auto trader, what am I trading with? I traded all the way since February of 23. 1, 2, 3, 4 coins. Actually, I started with ACH. Let's go to the bottom of this list and take a look. Let's see if it goes back that far, because I lopped stuff off because it's too much data to transmit over the internet. But GRT, Doge, it was all there, but I'm only showing from August of 24, so it doesn't have from the beginning. But I started with ACH, GRT, and Sheep, those 3 coins. Later on, I saw Elon Musk. Every time I noticed him on TV, he would mention Dogecoin and say things like, you can buy a Tesla, with your Dogecoin. I could buy a Tesla with any coin. Just sell the coin and go buy the car. But when he said that, every time he would be on TV saying that, the coin would jump 30%. So I threw it in there and started trading it.
Yep.
And then only recently I added Swift,
Okay,
and it was only because it was number 1 on this highest trade count report.
let
It
me
was up at the top.
let me just say something for anybody questioning
But I don't go above 5.
for anybody questioning the validity of having their funds on Coinbase. I just got an email from an inside source that I pay a lot of money for on a lifetime subscription. I've paid a lot of money to get access to this info. And it says, I'll read you just 2 sentences. After years of regulatory exile, ICOs, which stands for initial coin offerings, are officially back in the US. For the first time in over 7 years, US investors will be able to participate in a public token sale legally. And it shouldn't be a surprise that Coinbase is the first platform in the world out of the gates offering this. So guys, it's got some serious clout. If it's the very first centralized exchange in the world to offer ICOs in the US, that's some serious, serious stuff right there. So don't sweat your money on Coinbase.
Yeah, they're just doing their due diligence.
No, I understand. I just want to put people at
No,
ease.
I mean Coinbase is.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Good.
Awesome. Steve, actually, I'm going to jump to Paul real quick. Ed, can you go to the manage strategy, edit strategy? I'm going to address Paul. Paul says in the settings, take profit of $100. So we had this question a long time ago, haven't addressed it since. Okay. So its default right there is $100. There is no problem. I don't see any downside. Argue with me, correct me if I'm wrong, Ed. You can raise that, particularly if we're looking at a 5%, moving from 3% to 5%, and then considering that we're looking for the market to go up, is if you change that number to such as from 100 to 500 or 1,000, there's no problem with doing that. It will maximize the trade and take as much profit as possible. So that's kind of it doesn't really matter
Well,
how
let me
high
tell
you
you
set
what
the
it's
number.
for. I can explain the purpose of that field is in a normal market based on most people's money, $100, they're not taking, I mean, some people are taking $1 a trade, some people are taking $20, stuff like that. Some people are taking 5 cents even, based on the account size. But if you're hitting this on your reason for trade, take this amount if reached. That meant that my $100, I was hitting it too often. Look at all these, take this amount if reached. I was hitting the $100 too much. $61.
So it was leaving money on the table.
I was leaving money on the table because in a normal market, while the prices are moving around, 100 might have been, it's really designed to cover the spikes. In a normal market, you're willing to wait for AI. and you're waiting for other things that it's looking at in the trader. There's a lot of internal stuff that it's looking at. And you're waiting for things to happen. But if a coin spikes up, you want to just, and it's like over $100, just give it to me. Just take it without looking at anything else. Because I don't want to wait, because 1 minute later that coin can drop down again. It's going to go straight up and straight down. So we want to just grab the money on a spike. Now,
Right.
if you're hitting it too often, then it's because of the volume you're trading, the amount of money you have, you're naturally getting that amount of money of profit. So you want to raise it, because then it's going beyond the spike. Then you're naturally running into it every day. So raise that number. I've
Yep.
got mine in my other trader set to $10,000. I'm just because I don't even want to use the feature anymore because I hit it too often on that $1 million account.
That's a great problem to have.
Yeah, it's a great problem to have. So you can raise it. If you feel like if you're getting this, if you're seeing a lot of these, take this amount if reached in your trader. I mean, I don't care if I get it once a week, that's fine. But if I'm getting it every day, if every one of these profit goals, instead of saying profit goal reached, it's saying take this amount if reached. Because you can test that. You can lower that amount to a small number. You could set that to $10 and you'd be hitting it all day long, maybe.
Right.
And you don't want to hit that really.
But there's no downside to raising that number.
No,
Right.
you can raise it.
So, well,
I
good.
gradually raised it. I went from 100 to 300 and then to 500. It seems to be okay on a $500. I don't normally make $500 per trade. Okay, so these are regular trades. This is what I'm making average on average trades. If there's a big spike, you know, the last time I hit it here was July 22nd. Okay. And then before that, how long before that?
In January.
July 14th, May 9th. See, I'm not hitting it very often. With that 500 seems to be the sweet spot for me. But you notice at 521, it took the profit. See that?
Right.
When it's hitting that 538, I took the profit because those were spikes. And when it spiked, it said, just give me the money right away. And
Show me the money.
The normal Swift money I'm making is what? 279, 230. So that was an unusual spike. And the auto trader said, haha, that's a beautiful feature to nail those spikes.
All right. We can see the
I
finish.
feel diabolical.
Yeah, we can see the finish line in the marathon. Steven says, one more question, please. I intend to be adding more money to my Coinbase account monthly for trading. Once it's in USDC, do I need to do anything like spread funds equally?
Can't hurt. It can't hurt to do that if you want. But yeah, you can look at it when you put it in. You can go here and just hit spread funds equally just to level the playing field. Because it's when you first start, you're saying spread percents equally, right? But they're not trading equally. The number of trades, like this one here is only used 59,000, whereas this one has used double that, 122,000. So if I hit spread funds equally, it kind of levels out the money that is available now.
Right. Cool.
So
good question.
You can click that. It's the only manual thing really, that every once in a while it doesn't hurt to do that.
Yep. Hey, Russell's asking, can you go back to your the front page of the trader? He's asking.
By the way, if the number gets too small here, it'll show up in the health meter. It'll pop up and give you an error message.
Okay. No, actually, no, don't go back. Stay right there because I just realized this answers his question. Ed, how much money do you have in those coins? There you go. First column, second column, right? Shows you how many in each or how much money in each one.
Yeah, funds used.
Right. All right. We're down to one. What I'm asking is if the coin crashes. Ed used the windowsill as the only thing that stops the up and down of the window. My question is, can the coin crash?
A coin can go out of business, just like any company can go out of business. I mean, do you expect Microsoft to go out of business? The answer is no.
Yeah.
So you trade it. I mean, there are lots of coins you can trade where you feel confident that they're not going to go out of business. I wouldn't go to the internet and just start grabbing coins that I don't even know. To me, if they're number one, if they're not on the highest trade count report, then I don't trade them at all for sure.
Yeah, but wait a
And,
minute.
and
If I'm not mistaken, Edward, you correct me unless I'm wrong. Didn't you help Pam get started? And if you did, I'm pretty sure you helped her suggest a few coins that were top shelf coins that she should just stick with. Am I right or wrong? Was that Pam or somebody else?
no, it was Pam. That was
Okay.
Pam.
All right.
Well,
Well,
which is fine. Giving her guidance, not advice, but
right.
she wants to explore. Obviously, she's in this for as a lifetime trader, and she's just trying to get used to it and understand. And the fact that she continues to attend our master classes has given her more confidence
Sure.
as to what she should be doing.
That's
And then
always
Some
we're
people
important.
say they come here every week,
yeah,
and they learn new stuff every week, because we
yep.
And
don't
it's
work
no,
with notes or anything. We're just running by the seat of our pants here.
yeah, and it's no extra charge to come back every week, right, Ed?
Yeah, no
And
extra
it's
charge,
fun.
no,
And we
no
live
extra
for
charge
this.
at
I mean,
all.
I'll go 4 hours if you guys, I'll go 5 hours.
Anthony,
Yeah,
And
don't
well, yeah,
Anthony,
you're
close
not
your
Anthony's,
ears.
trading coins at the bottom,
yeah,
Pam. You're not trading coins at the bottom of this list. You're not trading junk coins.
yeah.
Right.
Don't be
It's just at the bottom.
threatening Anthony to be here 4 hours because he said he could spend all day on here.
Okay.
So, all right,
Edward,
so
you've got some announcements.
I do. What am I announcing? All right, so let me do some housekeeping first, which is make sure we were running through at lightning speed. I'm going to give everybody the support emails again, and
These webinars are getting longer and longer.
frequently asked questions. That's because you and I, Ed squared, we get highly engaged. So
Ed Attila used to try to cut us off at 2 hours. It was like, how are we going to do that?
I
There's too
gave
much
up.
information.
I gave up.
Uncle. All right, next I'm gonna give because I only posted it a couple of times. This is Crypto Casey's GoBabyTrade exclusive discount. Remember, you're getting professional traders for 13 better than that have no emotion. They just chase money for you for 13 cents an hour. That was bizarre when our friend shared that with us over the weekend. I'm like, okay, we broke it down to it's $97 a month and it's $23 a week. And we actually, which you'll see in an example, we broke it down to I'm sorry, $3.19 a day. But now you're telling me it's only 13 cents an hour. That's mind-boggling.
Somebody's just doing the math. That's all. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah. Well,
the
but
hour. You're paying one time.
right, but it resonates. It resonates very highly. So you've got that. Oops, you've got the. Bear with me. I got to go find this link. Whistle in the background is fine. If you want to join the community's starting to get a lot of group members with great interaction. Mr. Barsano, I've not seen you in there yet, but I did
Now, I've
send
been
you.
busy dealing with this load balancer issue.
Yeah, I get you. So when things slow down, you can jump in. You actually have an admin invite.
I got that
So
link. Thank you.
excellent, excellent, excellent. So that is that's that. I'm also going to give you um, where you can find all the archive copies of everything that we do, which is on.
Are you sharing your screen or something?
No,
Should I?
no, no, no. I'm just posting stuff into the chat. So if you want to find the previous and most current, in about 24 hours from now, we'll post this replay on the Financial Intelligence for You YouTube channel. And like and subscribe because we're going to be doing a lot of things there, giving stuff away, loving on people, rewarding them for being part of the community, same as being in the community. And then let me share. This is, I told you I'd talk about some examples, and then we're going to let you go. So Ed, can I kick you off?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool.
I got it.
All right, there we go. Okay, so remember I talked about facts, presenting facts. These look outrageous. These numbers look outrageous if you have been programmed by the system to believe that this is outrageous. But this is fact. Actually, it's less than what has actually happened to Mr. Barsano since he started this trader. When I threw out the number of 2.5 million on 5,000 invested, I created this because I wanted people to see a visual of, geez, I don't have a million or 200,000 to start an account or whatever the case may be. So I said, okay, well, what if you said 5,000, right? Your real investment is you're spending $3,400, which is an investment. Best thing to do is maybe put it on a credit card if you don't have it right away, right? There is no monthly subscription. There may be some additional options that may present themselves in the future, but it's $3,400 or $3,500 plus 5,000 is $8,800 out of the gate, is using this example. At the end of the 3 years, you've got $40,000. If it repeats itself, this is just example purposes only. I take out the $5,000, I take out the cost of the tool, and your net, anything after these equal signs, is opportunity lost. Meaning you didn't buy the trader, you didn't put $5,000 in, you didn't do this if it repeated itself. But if this were the scenario at the end of the 3 years and you turn $5,000 into a net 31,500, how likely are you to renew the subscription to the next 3 years? If you don't say absolutely 100% likely, check your pulse. At the end of the 6 years, if you just let it go, don't touch it, and it just does its thing. Now, there are plenty of other examples that we gave. Mr. Barsano says he puts his Coinbase debit card in, and it's the card that keeps on giving because it still makes money. But if you just did this as a retirement plan, as a snapshot, 10 years is going to pass whether you do this or not. At the end of the 6 years, you got 320,000. I take your $5,000 out. I take your 2 license costs out. Opportunity lost if you don't do it is 308,000. But look what happens over time. The power of compounding. At the end of the 9 years, and I said 10 years, but 9 years is going to pass. 2.5 million, take your $5,000 out, take your 3rd license cost out, 2.544 million. What if you only got to here and you had 300,000 in the trader and said, okay, it's done enough work. I'm going to retire. I'm going to live off that. What if it spit out 2 to 5% a month? Could you live on 50 grand a month? Probably.
A year.
No. A month. At 320,000 spitting out, it's not doubling, right?
Oh, right.
Right. So, but if you don't believe that, if that's too outlandish, what if it only did half of that? And again,
See,
let me remind you,
50%.
right? In a 90% down market over the last 4 years, cumulatively, almost 4 years, not even 4 years. Next month, this time will be 4 years. When Mr. Barsano started trading December 19th of 2021 with real money, in less than 4 years, 5x his money. Cumulative. Not all at once, not consistent profits every month, not double every year, but consistently over that period of time. If you don't look at this as a life trader, a life-changing trader, then you're looking at it not correctly. Well, it's, just skip through $5,000 at 50%, which it's never done anywhere close to that low. Then still, I say give me $5,000. I give you your $5,000 back, and your cost of investment back, and you still have 8,000 or 44,000 or 176,000. That's pretty damn cool, right?
Yep.
As I break it down to, as I told you, $3.19 a day. Go drink half of a cup of Starbucks coffee. That's funny. Walk in there and say, hey, can you charge me for half a cup? And then put the other half in the trader. Right. So
That's funny.
Recap, make money in your sleep. Remove all the emotion. Remove as much risk as possible. Can the world end tomorrow? Yeah. Is it likely? No. But what you're going to do tomorrow, what is it? Ed, let me ask you a trick question. When's the time? when's the time that you would recommend buying the trader?
You can't own it early enough. You can't, if you don't own it already, then you're dropping the ball. And I'm not being a salesman. It's the problem is some people want to wait for the market to go up and they don't realize it's the down market is when the auto trader has an opportunity to load up on inventory that you're going to sell on that up market. If you wait for the market to go up, you don't own anything. What
Right.
do you want the market to go up for if you don't own anything? You're not going to make any money.
Right.
You want to get in at the worst of times. That's when that's when you really load up. That's when, like Attila, like you said, and I said multiple times, when you see blood in the streets, that's when you have a golden opportunity to be loading up like crazy, because
Yep.
that is the stuff you're just going to sell it off at a beautiful profit. When the
Right.
bank stocks crashed to $1 in 2008 and all the people were bailing out, the whales were just sucking up those shares. Remember, if you're selling, somebody's buying. And when that market's crashing, the whales, the wealthy, are just buying as much as they possibly can. Why do you think we had a shutdown in the government? Because the whole House and Senate are too busy buying crypto. They didn't even want to have to run the government. They just said, "Oh,
Yeah.
stop. Not forget the government, forget the people. I'm busy buying crypto, and let's give us some good down days so we can really load up." I said that as a joke, but I'll be honest. I believe it.
Yep. Well, now I'm going to tell you something slightly out of school. If you don't already own the trader, you're kind of behind the curve, and I don't say that from a sales perspective, because you're gonna go to bed tonight, and you're gonna wake up tomorrow with the announcement that the government is reopened. Not only is the government reopened, but you are going to be in a position where it is, in my humble opinion, lighting the fuse on the greatest transfer of wealth in history. Period.
It
There are
is.
so many EFTs, if you don't know what that is, exchange traded funds. That is a packaging of cryptos
Yes.
so that they can trade them in the stock market. I talked about, and if you didn't hear me say it before, you'll hear me say it again. We are at the precipice of institutional adoption in this marketplace. How do I know that? Well, one, I know things. And two, you can see it flat on the surface. The fact that they're forcing this market down to parrot what Ed said, they are doing everything to force you out so they can own it all of it. Don't be
Right.
fooled. You're
It's
here
the
for a
mother of
reason.
all paydays. They're looking for the
You,
mother of all paydays. And this
well,
is it, by the way. You missed the internet revolution. The tech revolution's over. There's nothing left. There's nothing. This is the crypto revolution. This is in our generation, our lifetime. You're never going to have another opportunity like this,
yeah.
ever. And I
Well,
spent the last 25 years developing the tool to make it happen
okay. So
for everyone.
you talk about Trump's going to make a big deal in this. The conference that Till and I just attended, Eric Trump was there and spoke. He said, "Where are?" Somebody asked him, "Where are we in this crypto space?" You know what he said? What Attila said years ago when I first met him.
Yep.
We are in the early days of the internet in
1999.
in comparison to where we are. This is, and if you don't think Eric and his brother are attached to the marketplace, they run World Liberty Financial. May have heard of it. May have heard of the last name Trump. When somebody comes out and says that, guess what? It's because they own $7 billion worth of assets that they know what's going to happen next. We are
They're going to turn
leaving.
it into 70
We
billion, baby.
maybe even more. We are
And
leaving.
and they're gonna do it overnight too. It's not gonna
Oh,
take 20 years.
so I said you're going to wake up tomorrow. Yes, it was very very tough on a lot of people, particularly the people that I know, because I lived in the matrix for a long time that haven't been paid in quite some time. That has created financial worry. Not as if it wasn't bad enough already, but it is all a setup. You're here for a reason. The people that already own the trader, God bless you. If you don't own the trader, go run out and consider it. Do your homework, and then go stand on your front porch and scream to all of your friends that coming back here, hey, you might want to listen to these crazy guys. They'll talk your ear off for 3.5 hours, or now 3 hours and 35 minutes. but you're exposed to something that the machine doesn't want you to know. What you do with it.
Somebody said, I was talking to somebody on the internet once, and he said that the crypto market is too volatile. He said, so that's why I'm a buy and holder. That's why he's a buy and holder. And I said, dude, the market's volatile whether you're a buy and holder or not. You're just not taking advantage of it.
Right. Give me another example, and then I'm gonna have closing remarks. So good friends of ours that we just spent time with just talked about buying the trader. They actually bought, and I think Attila, you made reference to it, bought the trader to specifically trade in one coin only, XRP.
Mhm.
They created an experiment, and this is only 2 weeks in. They put an amount of XRP in there. It's traded like crazy over the last couple of weeks. And what happened at the end? The punchline blew me away. They have more XRP than what they started with. So if you're in it to accumulate and make money, as a matter of fact, I'm going to challenge you, Ed, because I'm gonna try it too.
Oh, I love it. It's
Giving a scenario side by side. If you owned a Bitcoin or an XRP over the last 3 years, what would the trade? What would you have in the trader, and what would you have as a hodler? Well, the easy answer is if you're holding it and not doing anything, you're simply watching the market go up and down. Yes, you're in it for the long haul to make it when all the rockets go off, but in the meantime, what do you say? Trade the heck out of it, right?
Amen.
trade the heck out of the
So
market.
trade the heck out of whatever it is.
Oh, yeah,
With
for sure.
Mr. Barsano, you've created
Buy and hold is dead. You would not open
Yep.
a 7-Eleven and then stock your shelves with groceries and then lock the doors. You'll want to turn inventory. That's what it's all about. It's been like that for thousands of years.
hodling's not bad, but the evolution of profits in the crypto market is here, and you're watching it. Mr. Marsano,
I like what Anthony wrote. It's a beautiful day in the cyberhood.
in the
Oh,
the crypto
no,
hood,
in the
the
crypto
crypto hood.
hood.
Yeah,
That's
we're gonna put that
exactly.
on a T-shirt just for you. But Mr. Marsano, you have created something that people told you could not be done, and you went, okay, I live on that. You watch me do it.
I live
You've
on
done it in
that.
the
Live
stock
for that.
market. You've done it in the crypto market. You have presented humanity with a tool that changes the rules in their favor.
Isn't that
Thank
like a
you.
1960s song? In everything, turn, turn, turn.
In every season, turn, turn,
Yeah, the
turn.
birds.
The
The
birds,
birds.
yep. So with that, I'm gonna start by saying thank you so much for everybody being here. We've got some people that dropped off, but most everybody was here that came, stayed. We're so grateful for you, so grateful for the opportunity. It's my back to my spiritual comment. It's my personal preference and belief. I have a simple plan. I have a simple, very, very simple plan of success and business plan. Please God, serve others. I'm here to serve you. We are here to serve you. Um, take it for what it is. Um, we're blessed. We're blessed to have you here. We're blessed to hopefully share something to where you didn't fall out of your chair and bump your head, that you could see yourself prospering from. Mr. Barsano, final words.
Yep. For those of you who sent me a happy Veterans Day, and thank you for your service. Thank you also for your service. Sometimes, when you're in Quest Diagnostics and nobody's saying anything, why don't you throw that out there and say, hey, any of you guys ever in the military? I did that once, and man, did I light up that room. Everyone was so happy to talk about their service. Oh, I was in the Army, I was in the Marines, and it was great. Anytime I pass up somebody out on the street, like in a store or something, and they have a U.S. Navy or U.S. Army or Semper Fi, that kind of stuff, I always say stuff to them, man. I love it. Daryl, yes, go Navy. Absolutely. I loved it. It changed my whole life, seriously. And I encourage especially young people, man, I encourage they all do their time, man. They can do a few years, and they don't realize it will change their life forever. It'll change their perspective on the whole world forever.
Yeah. Cindy just said, great comment, Cindy. Serving under others is the rent we pay on earth.
And you benefit. It's not just,
Yeah.
you feel like you're serving others, but it's like, what are they giving back? It's like,
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
wow,
Change
it's
your energy, change your pocketbook. So
so definitely go Navy. But also banks. When you're sometime when you're, you guys ought to do this, put it to the banks. Anytime when I go in a bank, I always say, they always say, how are you? That's the latest vernacular. It used to be, may I help you? Now it's how are you? I say, hey, crypto's up, I'm up, and I say that nice and loud. And you know what? I look around and I see the people in the cubicles, they're all turning to look. Who just said that? Crypto's up, I'm up. I love it. And sometimes I ask them, I see all these offices, you got rental, you got these loans and investing and all this. Where's the crypto office? And they go, oh no, we don't do that yet. You know what? They will be doing it. You watch. Watch when
yep.
those crypto offices start showing up.
Yeah.
And they're gonna. And then it's because they're gonna have to give in. Right now they don't like it because you're taking money out of the bank. Because when you withdraw money to put it in your crypto account, your Coinbase or Kraken, that's taking money out of the bank. That's less money that they can loan out. That messes with their reserves.
It
They need to
does.
keep so many reserves behind, and they hate it when you're taking money out.
I have
So,
I have one thing to say to the banks. Ha ha.
yeah, well, they're a dying breed, I mean, I don't even know what their purpose is anymore. I really don't even know what they were there for, other than you needed to write checks to pay bills. Now you don't even do that. So I don't know. I don't write checks anymore.
The purpose
No,
was,
it's
yeah, the purpose was for them to take your money and use it while as just as the scam system was architected.
It's just free money. Give me that business. I'll take that business any day. You want to give me your free money? Drop it off over here. I get to use it. Give you nothing. How great is that? I mean, anyways, hey, it was a pleasure. I'm out of water, by the way.
Oh, then we must end, but you got to know that we have broken a record today, Mr. Hevashi. What say you, sir?
Well, listen, I mean, I've known Ed Barsano 13 years. I've used a stock trader for 4+ years. And then I've now used the robotic crypto trader for almost 20 months. And this is just, it's the biggest no-brainer in the history of no-brainers. So that's all I could say. I'll end with that. I've said my piece, but
Well, I have one
um,
more piece to say.
yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
Thank you, Crypto Casey.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, we love
that's
Crypto
right.
Casey.
She's a bomb.
And my last 2 cents is Anthony says 20 more minutes. No. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
See you next week.
Look for the replay. Use the same link that you registered here to join us next week. So blessed to have new people here. We appreciate you. Attila, thanks for being a great friend. Mr. Marsano, thank you
Likewise.
for being a great friend, and thank you for bringing something to the market that blesses everybody.
Amen to that.
Thank you, everybody.
Cheers and see you
Bye-bye.
next week.
Bye-bye.